You all. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. So as usual, we're going to be doing more debates today. If you couldn't guess, and if if you voted for Trump, if you think he'll be good for America, make sure to hop in the queue. And I'm actually gonna call my stream a little bit short today, so we are only planning to do about 3 or so hours. Because I'm going to go to a local place with a really nice piano, and I'm gonna film a little TikTok video of me playing piano. But anyways, you guys, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. Sid, it's so good to see you again. Your TikTok was funny. I appreciate you for the money gun. But without further ado, let's go ahead and just hop into the debates. If you are in the queue, please make sure that you voted for Trump. I am totally expecting there to be like a handful of people that I bring up, and I ask them if they voted for Trump, and they're like, no, I didn't, but you're awesome, and I love you guys so much, but I want to try to avoid that as much as possible so we could just stick to the debates on stream. But I really do love you guys. All right, what's going on? Did you vote for Trump?
I did in North Carolina.
Stab in the heart, man.
I'm
Why would you do that?
sorry. I will tell you why though, why I voted for Trump. So there were three main reasons for me. One of them being I am for America First, and I felt like Donald Trump had a stronger America First platform. I am fully in support of helping immigrants to the country. I myself was born in another country. The way I got here was a little bit different. It's not necessarily immigration. I was adopted, but I do have a lot of empathy and support for people trying to come here legally. I just think our system right now is catering a lot of American taxpayer dollars to caring for these immigrants, and I absolutely think that they deserve to be treated humanely and with respect, but at the expense of, our money going to people who aren't citizens of the country when we have several organizations that need help in our country and that we need to fix. I just think that we should prioritize America first. And I felt like Donald Trump had a stronger or more passionate America first platform than Kamala Harris.
Oh, okay. All right. I disagree with literally every single thing you just said. First of
Okay.
all, there is no federal programs in effect that divert taxpayers' money to undocumented migrants. So when you make the claim that, oh, there's so much of the taxpayer dollars going towards the undocumented migrants that aren't even residents or citizens, well, that's propaganda, quite
Not
frankly.
necessarily programs, though. I'm talking more about like when they come into the country, they have to obviously go through processing and they have to go through these certain, I don't know what they're called, camps or checkpoints where they're
Oh, so
housed
if
or
they're
whatever.
coming into the country through legal means of entry, that means that they're not an undocumented migrant and they are in our country legally.
Well, like the immigrants who like, I mean, when someone comes
Also,
across,
camps is crazy. But nonetheless,
not
right, are you saying
camps,
that
but
we shouldn't
like,
be spending taxpayers' money on legal systems of migration into our country?
no, we should, but not everyone coming across the border is doing so legally, and we still have to like when someone comes across, it's not like we can just.
Yeah, so what taxpayer money is being diverted to undocumented migrants? Also, just to put that out there, right? If we want to decrease the amount of migrants that are coming into our country through undocumented means, Kayla, thank you for the $5 donation on Venmo. We need to make our legal system safer, quicker, and faster. And when we do that, that will further disincentivize people from coming into our country through undocumented means. And there's a bipartisan border bill in the House and the Senate 2 years ago that would have achieved that exact goal, but Donald Trump called the Republicans and he told them to torpedo it because it would have made the Democrats look too good. And I feel like this fact alone completely reduces your claim that he's pro-America, America first to nothing. Okay? Right? Because he's not pro-America, he's not pro-public service, he's not pro-you, he's not pro-me, he's pro-himself. And he's willing to do literally anything to put himself ahead. This is what he tried to do when he, torpedoed the bipartisan border bill. This is what he attempted to do when he tried to rig and change the outcome of the 2020 election. Then ended up raging, calling for the Constitution of our the termination of our Constitution. Right, and with all of his policy during his last term, there was not a single piece of legislation that benefited that average American more than members of the top 1%. right? I see absolutely no way to justify that Donald Trump has a pro-America first stance, and maybe we could use this hypothetical to prove it. If there was an undocumented migrant in our country that had committed 34 felonies, raped an American woman, sexualized an American little girl, saying that they dated 10-year-old in 10 years, right, and boasted about walking into little girls' changing rooms, called for a termination of the Constitution, and tried to rig the outcome of a federal election, would you say that they're American first, or would you say that they're a terrorist?
I would not call them a terrorist. Would I say that they're America first based on the things you just stated? I think that that makes them more of a bad person and, criminal. I will agree with you on that.
So they're not American first, right?
No, you make a good point. No.
And Donald Trump has done every single thing I just said. So Donald Trump's not American first, right?
Well, neither is Joe Biden.
Well, Joe Biden first didn't run for the presidency. Second,
he was running, and then
over.
if you want to talk about
your claim was that
democracy.
you voted for Trump because he was pro-America.
Well, I thought that was one of the reasons. I
that claim.
had two other reasons why I voted for Trump.
Okay, so now that we've proven your claim wrong, right, and we now can understand that Donald Trump is not American first, why did you vote for Trump?
My second reason why I voted for Trump was I actually was undecided going into the election, and that's my honest truth. And I was watching all not the debates, the town halls. I was listening to what Kamala Harris was saying and the questions she was being asked in the debates and in these town halls. And personally, I felt like she dodged a lot of questions.
Sid, thank you so much for the rhythmic bear. I appreciate you for the love, Sid. Thank you so much, Sid. I appreciate that.
And I understand that that's, a typical tactic of politicians. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is innocent. I mean, he definitely dodged questions and danced around issues and didn't answer direct questions. But I felt like, and, you'll probably make the point, he said concepts of a plan, which is a fair point to make. But I felt watching Kamala Harris speak on the issues, they would ask her about immigration and what her plans were. And she would more or less, offer an attack ad, if you will, on Donald Trump, saying, well, this is what he did. This is why it didn't work. This is why he's not fit for office. But she didn't offer a plan herself. And I felt like when she was asked a lot of questions on a variety of issues, it was more so, this is what Trump did and why it didn't work. And it wasn't very much on her plan to do so. And that was tough for me because I really did, and people can say whatever they want, I really did look into her platform and her arguments, and I just felt watching her speak, and maybe it's just my opinion, maybe she's just not a great debater. I know she's very good at giving speeches, and Trump is not. I think that she
Wait,
does
do you think she lost her debate with Trump?
I don't think anyone won that debate. I think Trump said a lot more ridiculous things than her, but to say that
So
she
her
won.
performance was better than Trump's. So here's the thing about having comprehensive policy. She had more nuanced policy than Donald Trump. He had no plan for health care. She did. He had no plan to pay for his tax cuts. She did. He had no plan for immigration. She did. But even if we were to accept that she didn't have as much of a comprehensive plan as Donald Trump, and didn't know how to answer questions, what's worse? Not answering questions or trying to stage a coup to rig the outcome of a presidential election?
Well, I mean, I would argue no one should stage a coup to rig the outcome of a presidential election.
But which one is worse? Not answering questions or literally coupping the country?
I mean, if you're referring to January 6th, I have some disagreement with you on that. That was a coup to overturn the country that Trump set up.
There's really nothing to disagree with about January 6th. He sent 7 slates of fake electors to 7 key swing states to cast fake votes from those states to Congress on January 6th, saying that he won when the official vote of the state said that Biden won. And then he pressured Mike Pence into certifying them as real. Then he pressured Bill Barr with the DOJ into saying that there was widespread voter fraud when there wasn't any. There's no contest there with the facts. He's admitted to these things in court for immunity, and both of his personal lawyers, Rudy Giuliani and John Eastman, that helped him orchestrate this plan, have lost their law licenses and admitted the same thing as well. So
and he shouldn't have done that. I disagree with
there.
I disagree with him not accepting the outcome of the presidential election. I don't support anything that happened on January 6th. I think he should have taken a page out of Kamala Harris's book and,
So you agree that he tried to coup the country and rig the outcome of a federal election. So what's worse, not answering questions or trying to install yourself as a fake president of our country?
Trying to install yourself as a fake president of the country. If
So
that's
then
what you
why
want.
did Kamala Harris not answering some questions make you sway to vote for Trump, even though he's objectively done things worse?
Again, that wasn't the defining reason why, but I couldn't understand Kamala Harris's policies when she wasn't answering the questions. I mean, if you ask her what her plan was and she just does a attack ad on Donald Trump, how am I supposed to know what her intentions are, what she's going to do? I mean, you have to admit that not answering questions in the grand scheme of things, of course, when you're comparing it to January 6th, I mean, there's no comparison. It's not a big deal.
So you're saying
but
that she didn't have plans that she communicated to the American people, but Donald Trump did. What's Donald Trump's plan to pay for his tax cuts? What's Donald Trump's plan for health care? What's Donald Trump's plan for immigration / mass deportation?
I think Donald Trump's plan for immigration is to increase the amount of ICE officials working at the border. I don't know if he's called for a complete, shutdown of the border. I can't confirm that or not.
Well, if his plan was to increase the amount of officials working Border Patrol, why did he torpedo the bipartisan border bill in the House and the Senate 2 years ago? Also, that's not publicly announced on his website. The fact is he doesn't know his plan, and that was like the biggest meme of the election cycle with him just saying he had concepts. Kamala Harris did know her plans. In fact, right, even the point that you're touching on here with immigration, her answer in these interviews was to talk about the bipartisan border bill that she tried to get passed because that was her plan, bring up how Donald Trump torpedoed it, and then reinstitute the fact that if she was elected in November, she would have just pushed that through Congress again. So, I mean, like, and if you want to look like more specifically into where the plan was, you could look into that bipartisan border bill, all 81 pages of it. And that was her plan. And you just want to sit here and act like there's just her running an attack on Trump. Well, I mean, it was like recognizing reality that she had a plan. She tried to get it implemented, and Donald Trump shut her down. But if she's
So why didn't she say that stuff in the debates?
She literally did. That's where I'm.
He
pulling this
didn't.
from. No, I know that she did because that's where I'm pulling this from. She said this in the debate. She said this on her Fox News interview. She said this on her CNN town hall. This was like the narrative that she would run with every single time that she was asked about immigration.
I didn't. I again watched the CNN town halls and the debate, and I mean, again, maybe it's just a difference of opinion, or maybe.
So what's Donald Trump's plan for mass deportation? How is he going to pull that off? Because you're saying that he has really great plan, but Kamala Harris has no plan. What's his plan for mass deportation? How's he going to do that?
I think he wants to again increase the amount of ICE officials, and create a stronger vetting process. And by stronger, I mean it's probably going to be more restrictive.
So how is increasing the amount of ICE officials going to deport all undocumented migrants on day one?
Well, I mean, it's not going to deport everyone on day one. It's
Well, that's what he said. So that's his plan. He's said this multiple times that he's going to deport all undocumented migrants day one. So how is he going to do that?
He's not. That's not possible.
Okay, so you just admitted that Donald Trump not only doesn't have a plan, but is lying about his intentions of what he wants to do. Next question. His tax cuts are estimated to cost $7 trillion. Tessa, thank you for the Jim gun. How is he going to pay for those? What's his plan to pay for those?
To pay for the tax cuts, it would probably be increasing taxes on corporate businesses or big corporations.
He wants to decrease taxes on corporations. That would be a significant portion of the $7 trillion in debt-related spending over the next 10 years.
So then it would probably be, increasing taxes on middle-class Americans or low to middle-class Americans? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm just asking you for his plan, because that's been your one and only critique of Kamala Harris, the lack of a plan. So I'm asking you what Donald Trump's plan was that made you swing to the right, because obviously the implication that Kamala Harris not answering questions about her policy would indicate that you swung to the right because Donald Trump has. And I'm just looking for the answers that he's given. Right? Seemingly, Donald Trump doesn't have a plan and you don't care. Donald Trump's a rapist, you don't care. Donald Trump
I never said that I didn't
to the
care
Supreme
that
Court
he
to
was
overturn Roe v. Wade, and you don't care.
of
34 count felon, you don't care. But then Kamala Harris doesn't answer 3 questions on a Fox News interview or CNN town hall, and all of a sudden your decision's clear. Like, I mean, I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes and see how that internal thought process works out, and I'm just not seeing it.
Well, again, that's a fair point, and I think that again, I don't support Donald Trump. You said that I don't care that he's been convicted of violence against women. That's absolutely not true. But again, I think we've elected presidents, and there have been Democratic presidents who have done exactly what Donald Trump has and worse, and we've elected them, and there was never this much hatred
Sydney,
or
thank you for the
controversy.
$3 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Like who?
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton was impeached for cheating on his wife.
Yeah, but he's also been accused of sexual abuse and assault by many women and been accused of trying to cover it up, and they have found evidence that he has tried to cover it up.
Okay, do you think that he should have been impeached for that too?
I think that, yeah, he probably should have been.
So Bill Clinton should have been impeached for sexual assault allegation. Donald Trump should be president even though it's been proven in court that he's raped a woman.
No.
So Donald Trump shouldn't be president. You regret your vote.
I voted for him honestly because I thought that he would get more legislation passed than Kamala Harris would be able to. And I personally think that he's best for the country. And you can disagree with that because of his allegations and his convictions. And
So why is he better for the country than Kamala Harris?
because I think he's going to be able to get more accomplished considering that the Republicans now have the majority in the House and the Senate. Kamala Harris did have great plans. I forget exactly what it was. She wanted to give a child tax credit to.
So I just want to clarify. So you knew that the Republicans would win the majority in the House and the Senate, and that's why you voted for him?
Well, I mean, no, that's not why I voted for him, but I assumed that I assumed the Republicans would win the majority in the House and in the Senate. And I assumed that Trump, if Trump was elected, he would be able to get more legislation passed because.
So if you assumed that the Democrats would win the House and the Senate, you would have voted for Harris?
I would have probably considered it more. Yeah.
Okay, so then seemingly that's not like what led you to the determination that you should vote for Trump. And Tessa, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo saying happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Tessa. I appreciate you for the love. Everybody, please do show some love to Tessa down below in that chat. Thank you for the $20 donation. You are phenomenal. Thank you so much for the love, Tessa. We all love you here. W's for Tessa down below. So, name one of his policies that you think will be great for America.
I think that
You're going on pause? I can't hear you when you leave the TikTok app. Caitlin, thank you for the $1 on Venmo.
I think that some of his tax policy ideas for extending and expiring like tax cuts and job acts, that might change the deduction for like state and local taxes, and like the corporate tax rate would go down for like domestic production.
Chat, this is literally dude, guys, this is an Americano. This is an Americano, chat, chill out. Anyways, yeah, so you just said extending the TCJA. First of all, you said that would increase deductions on the local and state level. That's federal tax code, has nothing to do with local and state tax code. Second of all, the TCJA is a very bad investment. We know over the last 7 years that it's only led to adding $10 billion to our overall GDP per year when it costs $2 trillion. That's an incredibly low return. It increased income inequalities by disproportionately favoring rich people, right? And it led to no new investment on the macro scale, meaning that it didn't achieve the goal of trickle-down economics. There's plenty of issues with it. I'd say that Kamala Harris's tax plan would have been better for America because it centered the average American and 100 million other American citizens in the low and the middle class. And then also, chat, the reason I'm drinking a straight-up Americano is because, well, I made myself a nice mocha this morning, but my milk was spoiled. And I took a drink and I almost puked. But, yeah, no milk today, so we just have Americano. But go ahead.
Oh, did you have another question or?
No. There's like kind of my recap of my thoughts, right, on the TCJA and why I disagree with you and why it would be bad policy for America.
I think he also wanted to like deregulate a lot of the healthcare, or not healthcare. He wanted to prioritize policies that address healthcare access and costs and promote access to healthcare via market competition and transparency. I know that was one of the things he was talking about, enhancing the flexibility.
Well, he just
For
never said that. He literally never said that he had any plan for healthcare. I don't know where you're getting that one from.
Okay, well, you're probably right about that. So, I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm not the most, educated voter. I'm sure I'm going to get roasted in the comments for that, but I don't really care. I have no problem admitting that I don't know everything and admitting that you have made very good points and, saying that there are probably things that I was uneducated on in this election that I should have focused on more. And I have no shame admitting that. So,
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you for coming up, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope you make a better decision insofar so you're going to vote for in another 2 or 4 years.
yeah, well, thank you for doing this. And I'm sorry that Kamala Harris did not win. I think it would have been great to have a female president. And maybe in the future when we have a
I'm not going to hear that from someone that voted against her. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and do a quick restart on the stream. So everybody just click on my profile, then click right back into the live. All right, so I'm going to be right back in 10 seconds. Michael, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo saying Dean made me a better man. Michael, I appreciate you. We're all working to be better at the end of the day, right? But yeah, no, dude, honestly, I'm actually kind of fucking with the Americano, right? Just a straight up 2 shots of espresso. And then a little bit of water and ice. I like it. I do. I really do miss my mocha. I need some more soy in my system if I don't like keep feeding myself soy every 24 hours. I die a painful death. So, yeah, we are. All right, I'm going to be right back, Chad. I'll see you soon. All right, Sarah, I appreciate you for coming up. We are just looking for debates. Lovey, thank you for the $5 donation on Venmo. Once again, I appreciate you for the love. What's going on? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I'm so sorry. I love what you do, though.
I'd say I appreciate you so much for coming up. At least she was sorry, right? At least she was sorry, chat. And make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 50,000 likes. Hi, do you think that men... And they're gone. Carson, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Carson. Let's go ahead and move on to our next guest. We got Lily loading up into the box. Keep in mind, we're just looking for the ops. Just looking for the ops. Hi, do you think that men are better at leading than women? Lily has left the live because they don't think so. Gentlemen, please just save yourself the time. Save all 2.4 thousand of us. But I do love you guys.
Well, a couple different reasons, but I wanted to talk about the presidency, and yeah, I can explain because I mean it shows we don't have any. Oh, I think he's lagging.
No further delay, just to make sure that we could get rid of that lag. So go ahead. Why do you think men are better at leading than women?
Well, I mean, men are usually a lot stronger and superior than women, but I mean,
Stronger.
but when
Stronger.
we talk,
So stronger? Stronger. So you want to talk about strength. So are you talking about physical strength? Though men are typically physically stronger on average, obviously physical strength doesn't equate to being better at leadership because we are not voting for the biggest biceps when you hit the ballot box every November, every 4 years. You're going to be voting for the best candidate with the best policy, with the most personability, intelligence, and ability to explain themselves. On the second point about mental fortitude, what reason do you have to explain to me why you think men are mentally stronger than women? Why the fuck is it lagging? Like, why does it do this to me? Fuck you, TikTok.
you're not lagging with me. I don't know.
No, it's a TikTok thing.
So I think men are, mentally more superior because they're stronger. They can, they can kind of express themselves a lot better, and they can take on bigger parts in this world. I mean, that's what I
Men do
got.
not emotionally express themselves better than women. If men emotionally express themselves better than women, how come they commit 95% of all violent crimes, 73% of all suicides, 85% of all hard substance abuse to deal with unprecedented emotions, are much more likely to engage in emotional risk-adverse behaviors like gambling, drunk driving, or reckless driving? You are absolutely wrong.
Yeah, I understand, but that's your opinion.
Well, I
But
mean, rebuttal it, right? Because,
yeah,
here's my thing. I have a very strong inclination that when you say men are mentally stronger than women, right, you don't have any substance or reason to back it, and you don't have any response to counter argumentation.
okay.
You just
No,
kind
I
of
do.
claw onto it. You know what I mean?
Listen.
Kay, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Cuba, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. And Lovey, thank you so much for another $5 on Venmo.
So I can debate this topic, but I was really looking to debate you about why I voted for Donald Trump.
Well,
And
you're already, maybe we
would-
could discuss it after.
I would-
You're already knee deep in this shit.
Yeah, I mean, we could finish. I would love to talk to you about that because I wait in here a lot of times. I listen.
We can maybe
I've
have that
spoken to
discussion
you about
afterwards, but you
before.
are knee deep in
Okay.
this conversation right now. You think men are better
Well,
at leading than
okay,
women,
okay.
and you
I
told
got-
me that you
I
think
have
that
a
men are better
rebuttal.
at leading than women because of physical strength and mental strength, and I've given you two rebuttals. About physical
Yeah,
strength, we do not base leadership abilities off of how big your biceps are. You voted for Trump, and you'd probably vote for Trump over a 15-year-old on steroids that can bench press 700 pounds, even though he's physically weaker. Then about mental fortitude, I've given you an insurmountable amount of reason to believe that women are mentally stronger than men, and you've given me your thoughts, feelings, and emotions about why you think men are mentally stronger than women.
Yeah, let me give you a rebuttal. So it's proven though that though females, they don't focus on minute details of a concept. I think like instead they believe in like gross results. I don't know, also. Females like easily understand a concept by taking it like I don't know as like a gross and in like a conception, and it makes it like more difficult for the female, and like females are.
Female. Wait, females and men,
I
right?
just think males think logically. I don't know.
Okay, female. Okay, well at least we're gonna say females and males. Okay, but let's try to stick to men and women. How about that? Jesse, thank you so much for the $25 donation on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love. Everybody, please show some love to Jesse down below in the chat for the $25 saying like the article. Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you for the love, Jesse. So you're saying that men think more logically than women? Then how come women have higher IQs on average and outperform men in the context of academia? Just saying.
Well, I don't know where you got that study from, but clearly, I mean, our business people are the most rich and successful people in the world are leaders. I mean, I think that I'm ready. According to NIH.gov, it's proven that men think more logically. Sorry.
Okay, really? What's the name of your study?
NIH.gov.
Well, that's not a study. I'm asking you for the name of the study that's on NIH.gov.
Understanding female and male instincts and physiology. And no, I'm not reading off something. I have been waiting to debate this topic, and I debate topics, so I have my stuff. So does Dean. He has his stuff.
All right, so it looks like we got this up here. I'm just going to go ahead and do Control F logic. Boom. There's not one mention of logic
I can turn
anywhere
my
on this
camera
study.
and show you the article if you would like me.
Boom. So, well, how about this?
Here,
How
hold on,
about
let me
you just
turn
go
on my
to
camera.
Cheyenne? Thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Cheyenne. Thank you so much.
Bro.
Everybody, please show some love to Cheyenne down below in the chat. I really appreciate you so much for the $30 donation, Cheyenne. Thank you so much. So, okay, yeah, I did find a section in here about let's see. Females are holistic, whereas males think logically. So could you please give me the methodology that the study used to determine that men think logically and women don't?
Yeah. It says in that same article, though females do not focus on minute details of a concept, instead believe in gross results. In addition, females easily understand a concept by taking it as a gross and in connection, which at times might be difficult task for a male.
Yeah, I'm asking you for the methodology that led them to the conclusion. Also, like, just mispronouncing minute was pretty funny there. So it's like, what methodology, what line of reasoning was used to make this conclusion?
Well, you can read the article and you can look. I'm kind of confused what you're asking. Can you say it again?
Yeah, you didn't even give me a study. You gave me an opinion piece written based on other studies that say that females are holistic, males think logically. I'm just asking you. No, so the NIH didn't write this, and anyone could publish to the. What does the NIH stand for?
National Library.
Library?
I don't know. It's something like that. From what I know, it's not. It's like a Wikipedia.
It's the National Library of Health or the National Library of Medicine. Okay, anyone could publish on the NIH, right? The publisher of this is not the NIH. The publisher of this would be the Journal of Lifestyle Medicine.
Okay, and
So I'm like, and this is also just based upon a conglomerate of other studies. I'm really just asking you for the methodology that they use to determine that men are more logical than women.
At this time, I can't provide that to you.
Yeah, obviously you fucking can't. Also, I have a question. Would you say that the higher level of logical capability that you have, the more likely you are to perform well in academics, and that we'd expect to see a correlation between logical ability and performance in academics?
You just gave me a lot there. Give me a second, because you're throwing words at me and you're throwing long sentences.
You know what? Fuck it all. Fuck it all. We're gonna go ahead and play this game instead. Your qualifier for better leadership is thinking more logically. So would you say that Kamala Harris is a better leader than Donald Trump because Donald Trump has no logic, and this would be predicated on the fact that he still believes he won 2020, even though everybody, including 63 courts, have told him he's wrong?
I think Trump's the better leader by far.
No, but obviously he doesn't have that high of a logical capability of reason.
He's very logical.
Would you say it's logical to determine that you won an election you lost with no evidence?
Yeah, well, listen.
When you are proven wrong, stop talking while I'm speaking. Know your place. And then when you are proven wrong by your own VP, by your own wife, by 42 of your 44 cabinet members, and then when you fund an electoral integrity committee millions of dollars to investigate the outcome of the election, and they find no evidence to prove you right, that you actually did win even though you lost, and then you appeal to 63 handpicked courts, 34 with Republican-appointed judges, 17 with judges that you appointed, and they also all tell you that you have no evidence for what you believe in, but then you continue to believe in it, even to the extent to trying to coup the country and rig the outcome, that is an example of a logical thinker?
Yeah, well, he's very logical.
That's not what I asked. I asked you if that is an example of a logical thinker.
Yes, because the election was stolen. Half of America agrees that the election was stolen.
Okay, and 75% of Americans believe that the Earth was flat 200 years ago. Are you telling me that the majority opinion dictates what's truthful? And you expect me to believe that men are a logical thinker when men give me this argument every day? Well, and also, it's not half of Americans, it's 70% of Republicans. But now I want you to go rile up all 70% of those Republicans. That's like 60 million people, right? And ask them all for any evidence that the 2020 election was sufficiently rigged to be overthrown, and you will come up empty-handed.
Well, I can give you some ways I think it was stolen.
Please, give me your evidence for widespread voter fraud. And guess what, chat? He's not going to be able to. That's the... I can't wait for you to feel embarrassed when you can't give me any evidence.
So what happened to the 14 million votes that got lost from Kamala Harris? What happened? I mean, this year, last election, they had 14 million more voters.
No, that's also just false, by the way. There was 10 million more voters, not 14 million.
Okay, sorry, 10 million.
So I just want to clarify. So you're saying that the only evidence for the 2020 election being overthrown was that there's 10 million Democrats that showed up last cycle, but not this cycle. So I just want to make it clear, on November 4th, the day before Election Day, did you think that the outcome of 2020 was overthrown?
What do you mean?
On
agree with that.
November
in
4th, did you
2020.
think that 2020 was stolen?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so you just told me that on November 4th, you self-admittedly thought that 2020 was stolen with no evidence, because the only evidence, which is 10 million less Democrats voting this year, right, only became apparent on November 5th.
Well, listen, I've already been studying that they lost, but I even felt more confident. I already was pretty
Megan,
much.
thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Megan says this should be enough to cover for milk for now. Yeah, I'm going to go out and get some milk. Thank you so much for the love, Megan. Everybody, please show some love to Megan down below in the chat. Charles, thank you for the $1. And
Okay,
San, thank you for the $1. Then Shelly, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Everybody, please spam W Megans and W Shellys in the chat. You guys are too kind. So first of all, 10 million less Democrats voting this year is not evidence that 2020 was stolen. I mean, that could simply be explained via Democrats voting for Trump or Democrats not voting for all because of internal problems with the platform. We could even take it one step further and attribute a lot of that to the overwhelming Republican messaging that dominated messaging from the left, or the right winning the online culture war over the course of the last 4 years. So no, that's not evidence that 2020 was stolen. What is your evidence that 2020 is stolen?
Well, I went out in the streets. I actually do like to go out and talk to people, and I've talked and I even watched videos about it. I watched and talked. Some of these homeless people in 2020 were registered or voted for a different candidate that they never originally voted for. They never got to vote, and they voted for this. And also, they were finding people that were already dead that voted for Joe Biden. So,
yeah, so first of all, about people's votes being changed, literally no evidence of that. Even the Heritage Foundation disagrees with you. Then about dead people voting, yeah, people would vote and then die before their vote was counted. And where is the evidence of this happening on a widespread scale sufficient to overturn the results of the election? Could you just give me one source? Literally one source that would demonstrate that, like, 7 million dead people voted, or 7 million homeless people's votes counted for the other candidate. Well, that's what the deficit was in 2020. That's how many votes Biden won by.
well,
Cheyenne, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Cheyenne. Everybody, please do show some love to Cheyenne down below in the chat. Well, they didn't rig 7 million votes for Joe Biden. How the hell did Joe Biden win? Are you saying that he actually did legitimately win the outcome of the election?
no, I mean, listen.
So then they did rig 7 million votes for him. So give me evidence that there's 7 million votes that were rigged.
They did, okay?
So let's see the evidence, Hannah.
Okay, but I get upset because this country has turned to complete shit, okay? And this is all because of him. But one reason that is a main thing is with the immigration, okay? And there's
all because of him, like him as in Trump?
There's like 10 states that, or 11 states that don't allow IDs don't require IDs when you're going to vote.
Uh-huh.
And 10 of them are blue states. So does that not make sense to you?
I have a question. Do you have to be registered to vote, Hannah?
Of course you do.
In order to be registered to vote, do you have to have a social security number and a home address?
Yeah, people were making fake social security numbers or taking other people's social security numbers, Dean.
Well, if they could take someone else's social security number, what's going to stop them from taking their ID?
You can also get
and if
fake
they
ones,
can make
like
a fake social security number, why couldn't they make a fake ID?
They can make a fake ID too. They make fake social security numbers, fake IDs, fake ID.
So seemingly, ID laws aren't going to stop an undocumented migrant that has a fake social security number, because they could also just get a fake ID.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand.
Do you think that there was like 7 million like stolen social security numbers, 7 million fake social security numbers? Do you know how easy that would be to prove? All that would take to prove is looking through the registered voter databases for those that cast a ballot in 2020, right? And then running the social security numbers in the registered voter databases against what is registered by our federal government. And then all of a sudden, in like 30 minutes, you have widespread evidence of 7 million fake votes cast by undocumented migrants. But where does that exist? Where has that been conducted? It
listen.
hasn't, because it's bullshit, and you know it. He left the live. We left the live. Oh, that's too funny. Hana over there, he was getting real emotional. I thought that, according to him, men were logical, not emotional. So he refuted his own argument. Hello, Soli. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Uh, Listen, I love women, but yeah.
Okay, that was the most cringe fucking statement I've ever heard come out of
How,
someone's mouth. I'm gonna
no,
puke
dude.
everywhere.
How? Okay, listen. I have a
So
lot of
why do you think
sisters.
men are better at leading than women?
Okay, listen. Do you honestly believe that? Okay, you honestly believe if Kamala Harris was elected
Kamala.
president, Kamala Harris was elected president, you think that she would you think that she would get the same amount of respect Donald Trump would get from these other world
Well,
leaders?
yeah, I think you should get more. I mean, where are the leaked
More?
Kremlin documents where Putin says that Kamala Harris is easy to manipulate, like the leaked Kremlin documents where he says that Trump is easy to manipulate? Where's an example of all other world leaders laughing at Kamala Harris when she's giving a speech at the UN, like the video we have of all other world leaders laughing at Trump when he's giving his speech in front of the UN?
If that were true, then why didn't Vladimir Putin gain one single piece of land when Trump was president, or the whole 4 years of Trump's presidency?
Well, I mean, there's multiple hypotheses to explain insofar as why he didn't invade under Trump, but at the end of the day, I don't think that any of them have sufficient reason. We
You
do
don't
know the
think Trump?
facts, such as the idea that he interfered with the 2016, 2020, now 2024 election, and that he thinks Trump is easy to manipulate, and that's backed up by evidence from the CIA, DoD, DOJ, right, alongside Trump believing Putin's word of mouth over U.S. intelligence at Helsinki. I mean, like, sir, like you can't just say if that's true, then why X, Y, Z. No, we know it's true.
So why would Vladimir Putin choose to move in during Joe Biden's presidency if he truly why didn't he just do it during Trump's presidency? Why would he choose the middle of Joe Biden's?
Yeah, maybe he needed more time to prepare his forces, to make more weapons, to build more bombs, to gain more artillery and troops, etc. But at the end of the day, we just don't have a hypothesis that has supported, that has supported data on either side. So we shouldn't make any assumptions.
We shouldn't make any assumptions. But
Yeah, like once again, then also, how are you combating my statements that what I said was true with like this very weak argument that is based in emotions about why he didn't invade under Trump? Like we know that it is true that Trump thinks Trump is easy to manipulate because of literal leaked Kremlin documents. We know that Putin has interfered with the 2016, 2020, and 2024 election because of the DOD, DOJ, and CIA. But your little weak, emotional-driven hypothesis that it's all fake because he didn't invade Ukraine under Trump is just a complete and utter total failure.
Okay, but don't you think that women in general aren't they wouldn't lead the country as tough as a man would? We know that to be true. Come on.
What do you mean by
know-
tough there?
Come on, we need a strong leader. We can't have
Strength?
some fragile little I don't want to sound rude, but yeah, come on, we need
So
a
why
man.
do you think women are more fragile than men?
Fragile as in they're more emotional, they're a lot more unstable.
So
My sister.
so typically when someone will come up here and give me the argument that women are more emotional than men, I'll just debunk it in like 5 seconds, and then it doesn't really give you that much of a time for then it doesn't really give you that much of a time for
Since I was 8 years old. My sisters, they're 20, 17. They cry all the time over dumb shit.
So your sister has cried more than you, thereby women are more emotional than men.
Me- okay, women in general are a lot more emotional than. Are you trying to deny that?
I would like, yeah, it's false. I just want your
You're
evidence.
denying that. That's a simple you just by observing the world, you could immediately tell that.
Okay, so what about your observations have led you to the conclusion that women are more emotional than men? I usually debunk this
I thought
point
this
with
was a fact. Honestly, I didn't know that you could argue this. I thought
Do
this was a
facts
cold
have
stone
supporting
fact.
evidence?
Yes, dude. There's
So what is the
evidence.
supporting evidence?
There's evidence all around the world.
Like
Come
what?
on, man. like how like just women are more emotional than
Sammy,
men.
thank you so much for the galaxy. Repeating your hypothesis doesn't make your hypothesis more true.
Okay, I'll tell you why it's true. I'll tell
I
you why it's
just
true.
want evidence, man. It's super duper simple.
When you say evidence, you want like a study. I can't like just base it off my own personal
A
experiences
study is one form of evidence, but there's other forms of evidence. I just want any reason to believe that it's true. That's pretty simple, right?
because women cry a lot more than men. Women they're also more like caring in nature than men. You see these women, they're nurturers. They're a lot like the men are, women are just more emotional than men. That's written into their biology.
Okay.
It's not.
I saw a
Yeah.
study the other day. Now, maybe you could convince me of this. I saw a study the other day, and I
I
want
feel
you to
like in
tell me
your
if you
in
agree
your
with the
heart,
study.
I feel like in your heart you know it's true. You're just trying to you're just
Well,
putting
maybe,
on.
maybe you could convince me because maybe you could convince
Are
me
you
that I'm wrong
truly
and you're
not
right.
already
So, Sully,
convinced though?
do you mind if I just ask you a question?
Sure.
Great. Phenomenal. So I mean,
I'm a fan
I
of you,
think
by
one of
the
the
way.
last guests that came up, he gave me a study that demonstrated that women are much more likely to like experience negative outcomes from depression, like suicide. Literally 3 out of 4 self-unalivings are women, even though women only account for 50% of the general population. And like maybe that's indicative of like higher levels of emotion. I think something else that this study brought up was that like when women are experiencing negative emotions compared to when men are experiencing negative emotions, they're like significantly more likely to abuse hard drugs instead of like processing them healthily.
Hmm.
Like, would you say that these things might tell us that women are more emotional than men?
Um, I feel like you're gonna do like a reverse. I don't know.
Maureen,
Yeah,
thank
I
you for the
guess.
$10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Everybody, show some love to Maureen in the chat. So you just said,
Yes, yes.
yeah, that is evidence that men are more emotional than women because
Uh,
it's not women who commit
I'm,
73% of self-unalivings. It's men. It's
okay,
not women
okay.
who commit
Let
83%
me
of
tell you why
hard
that's the
drug
case.
abuse as an unhealthy coping mechanism to deal with unprocessed emotion. It's men. It's not women that commit 95% of violent
I'm
crimes,
not
which is a
denying that would be evidence because
emotional
that is
reaction to
evidence.
external stimuli. That's men.
My answer would never have been no because that would be evidence to prove that men are more emotional. But there's a reason for that statistic. It's because men often get neglected. It's because men often like they don't have like when a
Okay, well, I gotta kick you because you got a restriction on the live. Wait, my Soli does not comply with the restriction. Will be removed once they are disconnected. Okay, wait. Oh my God, did you guys know that TikTok actually has stereotyping or demeaning statements right listed in their TOS insofar as something they don't allow? That's what he just got hit with. Okay, good on you. We are going to go and move on to our next guest, everybody. Do just give us a minute here, y'all. We got B. Wayne loading up into the box. I think that's a new one. I think that's a new terms of service from TikTok. If you want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on these platforms. I'm considering a restart here on the stream. I don't know why we're not sending out today. Hello, NJ. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Well, I guess it depends in what category you're talking about leading. I mean, in regards to like maybe a CEO of a company or a small business, maybe not. But I think as a president, I think that one in particular part of leadership is decisiveness, and I think that women are less decisive than men in general.
Okay. So why do you think women are less decisive than men?
Nature, honestly.
So what about the nature of a woman compared to the nature of a man tells you that women are less decisive?
Well, I mean, just how each of. I mean, would you agree that a man, generally speaking, is different than a woman?
I don't think that there's any relevant distinctions between men and women that would lead us to the conclusion that men are more decisive than women. In fact, I'd say that there's maybe some relevant distinctions between men and women that would lead us to the conclusion that women are more decisive than men. A really simple example is the fact that women are just biologically predestined to handle and deal with stress and pain better than men. That's evolutionarily derived from childbirth. It's portrayed through thicker dendrites in their neuroanatomy. And maybe with an ability to better handle pain and stress, you'll typically be more decisive, right, in like more stressful circumstances.
Well, how does that? What connection does that have to decisiveness, though? That they go through more stressful environments. Why does that make
Johnny,
why would that
thank
make
you for
them
the
more decisive?
$15 on Venmo for being the GOAT. I appreciate you for the $15 donation, Johnny. No, it's not that they go through more stressful environments that makes them more decisive. It's that they're better equipped to deal with stressful environments that makes them more decisive.
But what would be the evidence of that?
Yeah, like literally thicker dendrites in the context of neuroanatomy. You could reference a plethora of sources from NIH or NIM that specifically demonstrate that they're literally just biologically pre-designed to deal and handle stress better than men. Like that's also why we see women surgeons outperforming men surgeons, right? You're like less likely to die or less likely to experience negative post-operative outcomes because like women just handle stress better. They're better in their circumstances. They're more decisive, etc. But I'm still waiting on your evidence that men are more decisive than women.
Well, I think that there was a little while back, actually, like a survey done by Pew Research that showed that most of the country actually does agree with me that men are more decisive when it talks about leadership qualities.
Yeah, you don't have to give me a study to believe that that's true. I believe that.
That men are more decisive than women.
No, that most people think men are more decisive than women.
Okay, well then why would you
If I gave you a
that-
study from 300 years ago that said most people think the Earth is flat, would you be convinced that NASA's a lie?
Well, this wasn't 300 years ago.
Well, if we were 300 years ago and I surveyed the general American public, a disproportionate amount of the general American public would tell me that the Earth is flat. Did that mean that the Earth was flat? Or did that mean that just because most people agree on something doesn't mean it's true? If you were to survey Americans 250 years ago, pretty much all white Americans would tell you that white people are morally superior to black people. Just because most people agreed on that fact, did that mean it was true? No. So when you tell me that most Americans think that
I get it. But
men are more decisive than women, that
I
doesn't
understand.
tell us that that
I
is true.
But the Earth being flat is a physical truth or non-truth. This is more up to interpretation. Would you not agree with that?
Interpretation on the basis of fact, and I'm not seeing any fact given your interpretation. I'm just seeing a lot of like misogyny and emotion.
There's no misogyny at all here. I'm still waiting for you to. I mean, you've mentioned that somehow that women are better surgeons. That makes them more decisive, and that they go through more stressful situations. That makes them more decisive. I don't see how that makes them more decisive. I mean, it gives them other qualities.
I think that you're actually demonstrating that men are less decisive than women on this life, because I've repeated 2 times that my argument was not that women go through more stressful environments, thereby they're more decisive. My argument was that women are literally biologically designed to deal with stress better than men, meaning that they're more decisive. And that was my argument. And what was your argument? Your argument was that men are more decisive than women because most people think men are more decisive than women. So if most people thought that women were more decisive than men, you'd say that women are more decisive than men?
No, my first original argument was just simply nature, and we could look obviously at the
That's not an argument. That's
history of human. Okay, so if you look back at the history of humankind, obviously almost all of our leaders since the beginning of time have been men. Why do you think that is? If women were more decisive, then why wouldn't women have taken more a leadership approach?
You know what? I think that you make a very compelling argument. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
After you answer the question, it says.
Great, I will. This is my response to your argument. Are you a white supremacist? You heard me. Are you a white supremacist?
I'm not even going to give that the time of day.
Is your answer no?
My answer is no.
Great. So,
and you are deflecting and changing the question in the course of this conversation. But go on.
I'm not. I promise I'm not, and that will be demonstrated to you right now. If a white supremacist walked up to you tomorrow and they told you that white people are better at leading than black people, because when you look back through history, there's always been a disproportionate amount of white leaders compared to black leaders, what would your response to that argument be?
My argument, I would say that that's not true.
Okay, well, it is true, right? Because we've only ever had one black president of our country. We see that anti-black racism exists on the global scale, and it is the case that there has been a disproportionate amount of representation of white people in leadership positions compared to black people, historically speaking. Do you contest that?
Are you talking about in the United States, or because I'm not talking about the United States. I'm going back.
I'm speaking.
Way longer than that.
I'm literally speaking globally, right? Even when
So
we
there
look
was- wait, so
at
you're
like
saying there was
empires
more
ruled
white
by
women?
black
Okay.
people in Africa, I mean, guess what? Those were destroyed by white colonizers that claimed their land and ruled it for hundreds of years. Like,
So you're
seriously,
saying-
like
so
literally,
you're
fucking
saying-
globally speaking, there's always been a disproportionate amount of white leaders compared to black leaders.
So I don't
right,
understand.
conveying upon
So
the
you're
general,
saying that
like,
since the beginning of
populace.
time, there has been more white leaders than black or brown or whatever leaders, and since the beginning of time. That's your case.
I'd say since Mesopotamia broke into Europe, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I disagree.
So anti-black racism doesn't limit people from being in positions of leadership?
Once again, are you talking about right now, or are you talking about in the history of the United States, or are you talking about...
How about we just scale
world
it down
history?
so it's just like more obvious that you're wrong? In the last 1,000 years, there's been a disproportionate amount of white leaders compared to black leaders.
I guess it depends where, but I don't think so. No, I mean some of that is probably
What the
skewed
fuck?
because
Like literally, huh? Wait, like where have we had a disproportionate amount of black leaders compared to white leaders considering their general populace?
I mean, if you go back, I mean, you mentioned 1,000 years. If you go back 2,000 years, obviously, and longer, you can start getting into a lot of different countries that have a lot of different, mostly non-white leaders, specifically in the Middle East.
Proportionate to their populace. My question was, name one country where we've had more black leaders than white leaders disproportionate to their populace. Like, do you understand
What do you
that
mean
means?
disproportionate to your? No, I don't.
Like
Explain
I'll give you an example, right? Black people account for about like like 15 to 30%, right, of the general populace here at home in America. White people about 70 to 75.
15 to 30%.
15 to 20, 25, 30, somewhere in that range. Meanwhile,
I think it's like 12 to 15. Go on.
yeah, you said I think that the stat I saw like a couple years ago is 13. I think it's grown since then, but I will go on. Meanwhile, white people account for about 70 to 75% of the
Not to
general
30.
populace. Meanwhile, what percentage of our presidents have been black? 2% of our
Once
presidents
again,
have been black.
you keep going.
when we
Once
look at
again, you keep
institutions of
going to
academia,
American history,
institutions-
and that was not my argument. My argument was not American history.
Okay, what was your argument?
Since the beginning of time, civilization, I don't know. I've never looked this up, but I would be willing to put money that there was more leaders of color than white leaders.
Okay, sure. Well, let's look at it this way. I would love for you to demonstrate to me a study that would tell us, proportionate to the overall representation on the global scale, there has been more non-white leaders than white leaders.
You keep framing your argument around the fact of like a civilization with a bunch of different races. Obviously, that didn't start until
No, like this does matter. This does matter. The reason this matters is, would you say that if 99.99999% of humans on Earth were men and 0.00000% of humans on Earth were women, and then we saw that 99% of leaders were men and 1% of leaders were women, that men are better at leading than women because of the lack of representation of women in leadership? No, you wouldn't say that, because that would be proportionate to the representation in the populace, right? If anything, you'd say that women are better at leading than men, given your argument, because they'd have a disproportionate representation in leadership roles. So when I make the argument that we have to be able to determine this proportionate to the amount of representation, right, in these positions, that we have, that's a necessary consideration. But like, since you're just being an obtuse, dense little fuck, right, and you won't make the concession that we've had a disproportionate amount of white leaders compared to non-white leaders historically speaking, right, representative of their population on Earth, right, well, I'll just go ahead and reduce the argument in a more analytical way. Right? Just because men have constituted a majority of leaders on the global scale since the beginning of time compared to women, this doesn't mean that men are literally better at leading than women. This means that men have had more opportunity to be in positions of leadership. And we see, right, this same idea present modern day. We see the same idea present historically in the context of race. All right? It's an undeniable truth that in American history, right, in global history, white people have had more representation in leadership positions than black people, but obviously this doesn't lead you to the conclusion that thereby white people are better at leading than black people. And if you want to know some of the reasons that I'd attribute to a higher level of representation of men in leadership positions, it starts on a very brute scale of a higher level of physical strength, And then it goes with men abusing a higher level of physical strength, using this as the first brute tool for female oppression, right? And then that evolved into the patriarchy, right? And then that evolved on the global scale into traditionalism. And now we see social stigmas that exist on the global scale that would systemically limit women from having the same amount of opportunity that men have to be in those positions of leadership today. Right? But when we compare countries with like that uphold traditionalism to a higher degree, men lead, women follow, to more egalitarian countries with higher levels of gender equality, we literally see more women representation and leadership in those more egalitarian countries because there is no like limiter in the sense of intrinsic abilities comparing men to women that would make men better at leading. And it all would reduce down to like social stigmas and rules.
So I really only took one part away from that, and that was that you mentioned the physical aspect of it, the dominance of it that a man may have over time. And you could have just said that, because that I would actually probably agree with you somewhat, that is a big reason why men have found themselves into more leadership positions in the course of civilization. I think that's part of it. That being said, we could deduce, since it started with the beginning of time and civilization, and now you mentioned the history of America, we could even deduce it to just this past election. Kamala Harris has been there was a lot of reporting from inside her campaign that she had a lot of indecisive problems not making hard decisions. And that was one of the biggest reasons why she lost, in my view. And that being said, I think she was honestly the worst candidate in the history of the United States.
I'm still waiting for... Really? So she's worse than the slave owners?
She's the worst presidential candidate in the history of the United States.
So she was worse than presidential candidates, right? That tangent that of the Confederate Party prior to the Civil War.
Well, as a person,
really?
Or as a candidate?
Which really? One are you asking? As a candidate.
As a candidate? Yeah, she was the worst. She was the weakest candidate for president ever.
Oh, really? Name one bad policy of hers. Because I'll tell you the bad policy of some of the candidates prior to the Civil War from the Confederate Party: slavery. So what was one bad policy of hers?
Well, name me another candidate who blew through over $1 billion and ended up losing all 7 swing states and ended up $20 million in debt. And I'll give you someone worse than her. But until you show me
sure, I will happily answer that question after you answer my question.
Well, say it again.
Yeah. Name one bad policy of hers.
Well, I mean, she wasn't president, so what are you referring to?
But she had policy that she had proposed and intended to implement if she did win the presidency. So name one of those policies that was bad.
The unrealized capital gains?
Unrealized capital gains. I absolutely disagree with you. I don't think that unrealized capital gains with the intention of further funding tax cuts for 100 million American citizens in the low and middle class that specifically apply to people with over $100 million in their net worth and investments was a bad policy.
And how is that a logical policy to have? Like, if you're only going by net worth on paper, how do you even keep up with that? How do you track that as a government?
Oh, so your question is, well, how do we track overall wealth insofar as the distribution of an unrealized capital gains tax? Well, couldn't you just say the same about realized capital gains tax that she was also proposing, meaning that the same critique would apply not only to her and her proposals, but the tax proposals under Trump too, as they also include realized capital gains tax? It seems that that's not your issue with the unrealized capital gains tax, or else they'd apply to a whole lot of other tax codes as well.
No, how would unrealized capital gains be the same as realized capital gains? Why would that be the same? One is concrete and one is not. Per day, per month, per hour, per year. So how do you track? I mean, how do you track
the same way that we would track property tax? Right, property tax is an unrealized tax. Would you agree? Right, because you're being taxed on the value of the property, and that's going to be reevaluated by adjusters every 2 to 3 years in particular counties across our country. Right? I mean, you don't say that property tax is bad, right?
No, because
how do you track it? How do you track it? Quite frankly, how do you track it? Because businesses are evaluated because the value of your stock and your portfolio is evaluated. Oh, craziness. Do you see the issue here? And then also, I just want to let you know that making an argument predicated on Kamala Harris being worse than Donald Trump, that doesn't speak for a generalization of all men compared to all women. And the fact that you think it does honestly demonstrates how irrational men can be, right? But I mean, I just reject the premise that she was worse than Donald Trump as a whole. But I mean, I just want to clarify. I'm sure.
Can I answer your? Can I rebut the
Sure, I'm sure that you want to
made?
do everything but talk about the main topic at hand because you're scared of me. But go for it.
I'm not scared of you, bro. I'm here.
Okay, so then why do you want to talk about everything but your shitty argument?
You mentioned a tracking a stock price. What if you have a company that, like most companies, that are not publicly traded? How do you track that?
Buddy, non-public companies don't have a stock price. Fucking dumbass. They have an evaluation.
That's what I just said.
They're evaluated, and that's how they buy and sell ownership shares. And it's not a stock on like in the market. Did you just ask me how do you track?
Go by?
Did you just ask?
Evaluation do you go by?
Yeah, whoever has like approval and jurisdiction given the county or state. That's how we like already operate on evaluations when we're buying and selling ownership stakes in private companies as it stands.
Okay, I think that's completely. So you want
That's literally how it works. Wait, you understand that is how like Donald Trump, right, has evaluated his companies. That's how all people evaluate their private companies. That's how they buy and sell ownership shares in private companies. Is they'll have a private evaluator, right, come in and determine the worth of their business based upon P&L statements, based upon overall liquidity, based upon assets, based upon liabilities, based upon company size, company history, company trends. Like that is how we evaluate like the equity of a private company, right? And I mean, and when we like wrap this in insofar as a government entity, right, taxing unrealized gains on equity of private companies, we do this the same as a company or county or state ordained appraisers, right, with properties.
Okay, but with the property taxes point that you're making kind of makes my point, because property taxes are done by who? They're not done by the federal government or even the state. They're done, or even the county. I guess some probably do it by the county, but it's the county or even the town, which is much
so most of them are done by the
keep track
county.
of.
A significant portion of them in Texas are done by the state.
How is the federal government supposed to efficiently and effectively and fairly and justly keep track of every single non-publicly traded company?
Wait, doesn't the federal government through the IRS keep track of every single U.S. citizen's annual income?
But you're saying income. That's a factual number.
So seemingly the IRS got it handled when it comes to everything but
Would you agree or disagree that
income?
What are you saying? Income is the same as net worth on paper?
I'm saying that the federal government can track
no?
income the same way that they'd track gains on paper. Yes.
You have yet to
because they still have realized
gains.
Yeah.
So realized gains is one thing, unrealized gains is another.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that you have a very high standard of, you'd have a very high burden of proof to instantiate that our federal government would be capable of tracking like 170 million American citizens' annual incomes through the IRS, auditing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them per year, tracking and auditing realized capital gains, but then they would have a very hard time tracking the unrealized capital gains of less than 15,000 centimillionaires.
So here's the deal.
You're saying that the IRS can handle 170 million American citizens for income tax, but they can't handle 17,000 centimillionaires?
Those are specific numbers filed right directly with the IRS.
Wait, do you understand that the IRS literally has more employees?
Dean,
No, Andrew. You understand that the IRS has more employees than there is centimillion American citizens, centimillionaires in America that the unrealized capital gains tax would apply to? Like the IRS could literally expense one federal employee, right, working on a full-time basis, 45 hours a week, right, to each centimillionaire that exists in our country, and then they would still have employees left over. And you're saying that is too much of a burden for the federal government to handle? You've lost it.
I'm not saying physical burden that they can't handle. I'm saying how do they fairly and justly do so? How much is your TikTok channel worth?
More than the assets.
Dean, how much is your TikTok channel worth?
It's never been appraised. How would I know?
Right, exactly. How would you know? And if it goes up, if it goes down, how would you know?
And during this live, it already sold out.
All right, welcome back in, chat. How we doing? So our live got taken down for self-unaliving and self-harm. That was a new one. I haven't had that one before. That was a totally and completely new ban for me. That was, yeah, usually it's like harassment and bullying because we stay harassing these misogynists. But I mean, yeah, no, that was an interesting one. We are just gonna go ahead and hop right back into the debates. I mean, the guy that we had up here is pretty annoying as well. Let's just go ahead and see what our first guest of the night, Champagne Poppy 1776, has to say. So everybody, do just give us a minute. Evie, I appreciate you for the anarts. You're phenomenal. Hello, hello, hello. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yeah, I think you should let a woman lead your life too.
So you think that men are better at leading than women, but you want a woman to lead? That makes no sense. Could you just answer the question? Do you think men are better at leading than women?
Yeah, of course, it's in our genes.
Oh, okay. So what gene determines men are better at leading than women?
It's more of like a primal instinct to lead your family, and not just lead your family, but lead everyone around you.
Oh, okay. So it's just like ooga booga, caveman, primal instinct, puff chest, lead, lead, lead. No, that doesn't sound like better leadership ability. That just sounds like a bigger ego.
Originated.
Well, you're
How it
lagging pretty bad.
originated, but obviously,
I think that you should lead yourself to a new router because you were lagging pretty bad. We're going to move on to our next guest here. What's up, Alan? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes.
Oh, okay, you do. That's pretty fucking gross, and you should feel ashamed of yourself, Alan. So why do you think men are better at leading than women?
Damn, Dean, you're mean when you first get on, but you start being nicer after it goes. But I have a hypothetical for you since you're just in love with hypotheticals.
That's right. I do quite like conceptual thought and abstract logical thought. That's right.
You're so funny. You're such a little femboy. But anyway, so
I'm such a little femboy. Why is it always like the conservative men that feminize me? Just tell me you want to fuck, okay? Right?
Dude, you are pretty cute. But anyway.
See what I mean? I can't take it.
Dude,
okay.
he loves it. Look at him, Tat. He loves that shit, dude.
Holy shit.
Stand up right now. No, okay.
No,
okay.
Alan,
All right.
how about you stand up, sir?
All right. To the hypothetical. Okay, so it's you. What's that other kid's name? Parker, and then the other little femboy.
Harry?
All right, you're walking down the road. Okay, yeah. Rosy cheeks. Okay.
Dude,
So,
Riley, thank
you're
you for the
walking down
$1
the
PayPal.
sidewalk,
I
right?
mean, personally, I see it as a compliment. Like, I mean, you're just telling me that I'm I feel like a man being more feminine. Like, it's just saying that like you're attractive.
Okay,
guy.
all right, you're a little cute man. All right, we're past that. Okay.
You're saying it again. Okay, so just run your
Okay,
hypothetical.
so it's you, Parker, and Harold. All right, so you're walking down the sidewalk, right? You encounter Andrew Tate, Donald Trump, and some other man, and they want to fight you guys. Oh, excuse me, there's a woman with you guys. Kamala Harris is with you guys, okay? Okay, so it's Parker, Dean, and
What
Kamala
is this
Harris.
fucking fantasy?
Okay, you encounter Donald Trump and Andrew Tate, and Andrew Tate and Donald Trump want to fight you and Kamala Harris. Is Kamala Harris gonna take the lead and beat the shit out of Andrew Tate and Donald Trump?
Yeah.
No, no. Well, she might.
Yeah,
be, 'cause y'all are
yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
If it's Kamala Harris, then yeah, probably with her Glock. She will take charge with her Glock.
Okay. Well, if there was an actual man there, the man would take the lead and run straight into danger in order to protect that woman. So,
We're just gonna kick you and move on. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say. I don't know what the hell that was, guys. I apologize. I think that Alan was like in the middle of writing this fanfic. I'm not gonna lie. Hi, Rachel. Do you think that men are better at leading than women? And Sydney, thank you for the $2 on Vim. I appreciate you for the love.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow. We're going to go to get our next guest up here. Everybody, just do give us a minute. Venus, thank you for the money gun. I appreciate you for the love. Everybody show some love to Venus. Hi, David. David? I'm going to call you David. So do you think that men are better at leading than women, David? You better lead yourself to that microphone. All right, David's just going to kind of chill here. We'll let David chill while we're getting our next guest up in here. I apologize that these streams are such a fucking crash. Hi, do you think that men are better at leading than women? Sketchy.
Hell no. I think people like that are weird. People that
Based. B. Wayne, hi, do you think men are better at leading than women? You definitely do.
No, I'm trying to debate on the Kamala Trump thing.
Okay, what's one reason I should have voted for Trump?
Well, I'm not a Trump voter. I want to get that out of the way. I'm from Canada. But
Jason, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I have one saying that I always remember: "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned," and I think that says it all.
So, I mean, do you think that a quote unquote woman scorn is good for leadership? I'm just confused. I just want to know your answer to the question above my head.
Yeah, I think a woman can lead.
All right, good for you, Jason. We got there. We're going to move on to our next guest. Everybody, just do give us a minute. Please, guys, please, if you're in the queue and you don't think that men are better at leading than women, just stay out of that queue for me, you know what I mean? We're just looking for some debates. We're going to get our next guest up in here literally right now. By the way, guys, we should hopefully get our main account back either tomorrow or the next day, so hopefully we'll be off of this account here soon. I'm pretty sure that this account is shadow banned pretty hard. Hello, God's creation. Hello, everybody. Do any of you guys think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, sir.
It depends on the situation.
Okay, well, Chapin, you're driving. You said that it depends on the situation. So overall, are men better at leading than women?
Overall, like I said, it's I don't think it's a black and white answer. It just kind of depends on the situation.
And it probably doesn't. Then the question probably doesn't apply to you. I'm obviously just looking to talk to people that uphold traditionalism that men should lead, women should follow. So I
Can you give me your
appreciate you for
basis?
coming up. Hello, Leah and KC. Do you guys think that men are better at leading than women?
Okay, so my view is like a little like half and half. I know you usually like the completely opposing arguments, but I do technically have one for this one.
Okay. Is it possible that you could get a little bit closer to your mic?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was.
No, you're good.
So for this one, I don't think that they're less capable, but I do think in today's society, they wouldn't be given as much of an opportunity to do as well, because especially in the U.S. with all of the process you have to go through with being a president, obviously there's a lot you can't really do too much without the approval of Congress and the Supreme Court. You have to go through all the different.
Hi, Casey. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I think that they are perceived to be better at leading than women.
Well, okay. Misogyny is so true and real. It does exist. We understand that perception exists. In fact, that perception is why I'm live. So do you think that perception is accurate?
No.
All right. Perfect, Casey. I appreciate you for joining. All right. We're going to move on to our next guest. Everybody, do just give us a minute. Hi. Do you think that men are better at leading than women? Beth. Oh, Beth, hi. Do you think
That
men are
was
better?
an accident. Sorry, friend.
No worries, Beth. Moving on to our next guest, ladies and gentlemen. This topic will slightly drive me crazy.
My
Hello.
apologies. I didn't manage to get on last time, but for all the Americans that want to read this on the Scientific American, this will expose the actual truth, which is actually that women. I just want to reiterate, because actually I think there is a lot. My apologies for not coming on sooner, because I was going to come on last time, but obviously you get so much traffic, so it's really hard to come on. There is lots to. I recommend all the Americans go have a read of this article, and I can go into the specifics if you want to talk about telomeres and certain genetic traits that women have that actually make them superior to men. Not only the fact do women obviously, well, let's start off for the facts that actually women do live longer than men. So that's another thing that actually people don't actually know. If we want to look at loads of different genetic factors like telomere breakdown, obviously you've mentioned as well dendrification of cells, which obviously has a massive play. We can, obviously as me studying as well myself, there is a lot we can talk over that needs to be sort of things. I'm just fed up with the fact that and I'm sorry as well that the majority of people from the UK are so disrespectful as well on this, because actually we are actually a lot of us. I think it's shameful because the other day you had people on Dean that were literally really, really shambolic from the UK, and they are not representative of. I literally am part of a union that literally funds a lot of the research, and there's new research that's being shown now, which is showing actually that if we go back to the earliest like eras of the dawn of humanity, women actually cultivated societies that were literally meant to appease and contest, obviously, men groups, obviously hunter-gathering groups, and actually women had to make compromises to obviously show better leadership against, obviously, males, like whether it was through sacrifice. I know obviously this is, I mean, you don't know me, obviously I don't know you, but I just wanted to state my piece that I think that it's bizarre that we're in a landscape now where men are being perpetuated as the dominant like species, male, cis men, when actually if we want to break it down and look at the actual genetic factors that play into it, there's so much research that we can like unpack and go through. And, you know, I just, whenever you want me to say something, Dean, that'll be absolutely fine. I don't know what you want to hear, but I'll say whatever you want. Because there's so much research. There's so much stuff that's being done right now, even within the actual colleges that literally I am like part of, doing loads of write-ups. There's so much new research that's being discovered. So, sorry, I just sort of took the spot from you then for a sec.
No, I appreciate you, random British diva. I appreciate you for coming up. You're talking about all that shit. You know, keep spreading your truth, King. And hopefully I'll see you running one of these lives of your own one day. Thank you for coming up. The British diva. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, seemingly it doesn't look like we have enough people in here that really disagree with that last one. So we are just going to go ahead and finish the debates out on this for the day. I may even just kind of take the day of debates off. I won't lie. I may end like substantially earlier today than I usually do. Work on like some video-based content. I don't know why, but these live streams have just been killing me a little bit recently. But you know what? Let's just let's get our first guest up, guys, please. If you are in the queue, make sure that you think that Trump will be good for America. Yeah, and I might even just end up joining Parker's later because he'll be on later today. What's up, Kyle? Do you think that Trump will be good for America? Did you vote for Trump?
Oh, you changed it.
Well, I mean, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
It depends on the situation, but yes, in most cases.
Okay, so I mean, let's just use that as your reason why you voted for Trump. He's a man and she was a woman, so why are men better at leading than women?
But that's not why I voted for Trump.
Okay, so why did you vote for Trump?
Nothing to do with it. I just saw that Trump had honesty in his campaign versus you looked at Kamala's, all she did was lie.
Honesty in his campaign? Here. What is the biggest lie that Kamala Harris has ever told?
The fact that she claimed that that Trump's economy policies were worse than hers and would destroy America.
Oh, that wasn't a lie at all. They were significantly worse than hers. She had tax cuts built for 100 million American citizens in the low and the middle class. Meanwhile, his disproportionately served to rich people. His cost was significantly more than hers, comparing $7 trillion to $2.4 trillion. He had no plan to pay for that and where that debt-related spending was going to come from. She had a plan to pay for all of it over the course of the next 10 years of the efficacy of the bill. And his plan was actually going to harm members of the low and the middle class through his tariffs, and not to mention the 24 Nobel laureates that unanimously agree that his plan is significantly worse for the economy. That's not a lie. That's just going to be an opinion of yours rooted on emotion. But if we want to talk about lies, Donald Trump told the biggest lie that any sitting U.S. president has ever told with his denial of the outcome in 2020, saying that it was rigged. Not to mention his 30,000 confirmed lies during his presidency. If you care about honesty and moral virtue, the rapist 34-count felon con man that told 30,000 lies during his presidency and denied the outcome of the 2020 election is not your guy.
See, but the issue is that you guys always bring up the January 6th thing. He did say peacefully and patriotically.
I surprisingly didn't bring up January 6th.
Uh-huh. Which one were you talking about then?
I brought up his 30,000 confirmed lies during his presidency and then denying the outcome in 2020.
Well, okay, denying the outcome in 2020. I definitely think that he lost that election, not by the margin that he lost it at. Just because of this election, and you can see how many votes actually came through and everything. I'm like 81,000 votes all of a sudden, 12 million votes just disappeared.
It was 10 million votes. It disappeared over the course of 4 years
But
due to
yeah.
the messaging of the right. This 10 million people either voted for Trump or didn't vote at all.
So you're telling me that one of the most important elections in history, people just up and decided not to vote for?
Or voted for Trump. Yep, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Okay. I mean, if that's true, then people were like, well,
No,
Kamala
it's
is
not
not
if that's
voting.
true. That's what's true. Like, I mean,
Well,
what's your
yeah.
explanation?
My explanation is that the mail-in ballots were not, like, I'm sure that there were some fake ballots in there.
Okay, so you're just like a conspiratorial bullshitter. Like, that's
No,
fine,
not
but you
even
just have
close.
no evidence for that. Like, that's literally a belief found on no evidence. Like, what? Okay, you know what? If you could deny 2020, bitch, I'm going to deny 2024.
I'm not.
Kamala Harris won this election, and Donald Trump stole it from her, you sick piece of shit. Kamala
Did I
Harris is
say
your
that I was
president,
denying it,
and you need to see the light. You are too ingrained and bought by
I
these
say
alternative
I
media
was denying
sources.
it?
Elon Musk has been stuffing horse shit down your throat. Kamala Harris is the true winner, and the election was stolen by Donald Trump.
Did I say I was denying it, Dean?
Yes, you literally did.
I did not say that.
You
but
did. You
thank
said that
for
there was
putting
fake
words in my
mail-in
mouth.
votes.
Yeah, I said that, but I didn't deny it. I said that I think that Donald Trump did lose the election, but not by the margin that he lost it by.
Oh, dude, that's even worse. That's even like less consequential and even harder to justify. I was giving you a little bit of like leeway there.
Yeah, why is it harder to justify?
Because there's no evidence. There's absolutely no evidence of widespread voter fraud in 2020. In fact, the Heritage Foundation would only report 1,200 confirmed cases of voter fraud since the 90s. And that's like the most alt-right think tank ever.
Huh. I mean, to each their own, but like,
so what's
what I
your
believe
evidence?
versus. I don't personally have any evidence. I live out in Alaska. I couldn't care less.
See, that's an issue though. Like, we shouldn't be believing things without evidence.
See, there's no like that's not something that you can actually prove at this point. Actually, there is one way that you could potentially prove it. One of the governors out in Texas came out and said that he found 1 million fraudulent votes in his, or not fraudulent,
What
but
the fuck?
fake votes in his election count like 3 months before the election.
Okay, show it to me.
Ah, Jesus, I need my computer to do that.
I would love to see 1 million fake votes in Texas. Or
there was a clip of I need to look it up. I'll shoot you it on Messenger here, but if I find it, but otherwise, like, that's
okay.
it.
All right. We're going to go to move on. Thank you for coming up. If you are in the queue, make sure that you voted for Trump and that you think Trump will be good for America, y'all. What's going on, Starbucks? Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did. What's going on?
All right. Are you driving?
No.
Yeah, you are. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. Everybody just give us a minute. If you want to support me, my Venmo and my PayPal are in my bio. I'm feeling so unbelievably low energy today. I'm so close to calling it, chat. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm like so incredibly close to just calling it for the night. Maybe I'll just call it, take a break, come back. Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even like really do debates right now. Fuck, bro. Oh, what's been going on with me? Like, I don't know what it is. I've been sleeping good. I've been eating good. I've been getting my goddamn coffee. And then just for like some reason, I've just felt like so like demotivated. You know what I mean? Maybe I need another espresso, right? Another espresso. That's what we need. It's the streams, maybe. You know, and I feel like every once in a while, I kind of just want my own time to be able to go out and do like normal person things. Just like the thought of being able to go out during the daylight and like run errands sounds like $1 million to me. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been able to do that in like months. Venus, thank you for the money gun. Especially as it gets closer to winter and we had like daylight saving times get in effect. It's dark out where I am at like 5 p.m., right? And I'm not hopping off my stream until like 5 p.m. Sydney, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. And like, you know, look at where we're at now. Look at where we're at now. But hey, before we do get off, I'm gonna see if this one guy is free for debate. Let's see, because he was chirping on the Discord, and I want to bring him up. His name. Thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate you for the love. His name is, what the fuck is his name? I already forgot it. Allison, thank you for the $5 on Venmo to go get myself something yummy. Hey, I'm gonna use it $5 towards lunch. Wayne. Okay, his name is Wayne. His name is fucking Wayne. So, Wayne, where the hell are you? We need Wayne in the live right now. Oh, this is Wayne! Oh, shit! Wait, oh no, we just connected Wayne and he ran away. Now he's in the viewers list. I'm gonna invite his ass up. Wayne, you better join, little bro. So I accepted your invite. You exited out.
I'm
Hi,
not running from shit, bro.
Are you the same Wayne from Discord?
You're damn right.
Okay. All right, Wayne. And you said that you wanted to debate me, right, buddy?
Yeah, you're damn right.
Okay. I just want to clarify. Crystal, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Do you think
what
that
would
you'll
you
win
like
this
to
debate?
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay. All right. Just a preliminary question here. Who is the first president of our country? Wow, buddy. I
didn't come here to debate you on the first president of the country, though, did I? See, this is what you do.
That's insanity.
This is what you do in your debates, though. You ask questions that are unrelated to the topic of what I'm trying to debate you on, and you just smother your guests in these shitty questions that are completely unrelated. It's
But
what you did when
Wayne!
you debated Charlie Kirk. It's what you did on every debate I've ever seen you on, and it's honestly, it's pathetic, man. Like, are you gonna debate me on
Wayne,
the topic?
are you trying
no?
to project the fact that it was so pathetic for you not to know who George Washington was by coping and screaming about my debate with Charlie Kirk?
Bro, I'm not screaming. It's like
you,
it's
you
all
understand
good,
that's like the worst like appeal ever is like to my debate with Charlie Kirk.
Okay,
because
so like,
of how
can we
one
get
moment,
back to the topic though?
Sure, we will in 1 second. Dude, you don't rush me. We could have a regular conversation, okay, buddy? But anyways, I think it's funny when like Republicans will appeal to the debate that I had with
I'm not
Charlie
a Republican.
Kirk. Okay, I've hit it when fucking ignorant men appeal to the conversation that I had with Charlie Kirk is an example of Dean losing a debate or like being whatever the fuck you want to say. Because Charlie Kirk said on film that that was the best point that he had ever heard from anyone. And then he followed that up by talking about me for like 10 minutes on the George Jankos podcast, saying how intelligent I am, how intellectually honest I am, how like highly he felt of me and how he thought I would be a conservative in the future. And Ben Shapiro
I'll
did the
give
same
it to you,
thing,
bro.
too.
You're a lot more respectful than Parker is. All right, I'll give you that. But I still think that you both are just smug as fuck. Every time you debate somebody, you just belittle them, and as soon as you start losing an argument, you just start thanking gifters, talking over them, doing all this bullshit. And by the way, do you only own one shirt? Because every time I see you online, you just have this like skull shirt with like these sleeves that don't fit you right. Like, hit Value Village or something, bro.
What the fuck am I wearing right now?
I don't know. You must have hit Value.
Oh my god. You're talking about the shirt that I wore on the Jubilee
But see,
video?
that's what I'm saying. Like, I just want to get to the topic,
bro. I'm literally responding to the smug horseshit you're saying, and then you're like, I just want to get to the topic. What
All
happened?
right,
what
yeah,
happened
yeah,
to the
let's
First
see.
Amendment, little bro? What happened to freedom of speech?
Yeah, have your say, bro. Have your
Insanity.
say.
Julia, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying that I'm awesome. I appreciate you for the love. So, I mean, that was a really weird way to call me poppin'. I have
Yeah, bro, you're popping, bro.
I've worn the skull shirt twice, right? When I've been recorded. On my Jubilee video where I debated 20 Trump supporters, and then one day in Michigan. Right? But it just so happened that when I wore that skull shirt on my Jubilee video, it ended up getting 13 million views on YouTube, 600 million views on Twitter, and 100 million views on TikTok. And then it just so happened the second time I wore that skull shirt in one day in Michigan, I ended up being the case that on that day, with all the videos that I got with everyone there, I ended up totaling close to 50 million views. So it's not that I wear this shirt every day. You just see me all over your For You page from these 2 days where there was a lot of content produced. Right? So you'll see that reoccurring content, even though I only wore that shirt twice. But Vivian, I appreciate you for the $2.22 on PayPal. But let's go ahead and have a conversation, Wayne. Why did you vote for Trump?
Well, I already said before I didn't vote for Trump, and you might kick me for saying that, but
so then what the fuck do you want?
Well, I came on to say I know what, like, you and Parker and Harry and all you guys, you're the reason, or you're not the reason. I'm not going to be an idiot and say the only reason, but you definitely played a big role in why Kamala lost. Because what you did was you took everything that people like dislike and all these like stigmas that people have around liberals, and you put it right in front of everyone's face. And I guarantee that even people who are liberal probably voted Trump as a result of you guys like saying all this shit. You're being smug on the internet. You ego people. You talk hella shit.
Can
and
you give me some specific examples?
All right. So for example, that NJ guy, bro, like he was being pretty civil. Like he wasn't really saying anything to offend you. Honestly, he had a pretty good debate. He had a lot better debate than I'm going to have. And you're sitting there
crazy?
like,
I don't even know what he's talking about.
You're calling him like a stupid fuck and all this shit. I didn't hear him cuss you out once, bro. Like, why are you just always on there just talking mad shit? It just don't make sense.
Wait,
like,
I called NJ a stupid fuck?
Yeah,
no,
you did. You
I
called him a
explained.
stupid, fuck. I heard it. I was in the live.
Wait. That's because he was saying that men are better at leading than women.
I mean, like, I don't necessarily agree with that. That's a different topic for another day.
Wait, but like, I just have a question. Like, why is it always the case that there's such an arbitrary burden placed on the left that we have to be the peacekeepers? We have to solve division, right? And we have to be accepting of all. And
Isn't
love
that your guys'
everyone
whole
equally.
thing, though?
5
with liberals?
seconds. But then the right, they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, say whatever the fuck they want, do whatever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want. Like, you're literally giving an example like this right now. You're like this NJ guy that you have self-referenced as being like super cordial, good guy, giving nice, polite argumentation. That was literally saying that women fucking suck, men are superior to women, and it's in the nature of a woman to serve to the man, right? But nice, polite guy. And then like evil, demonic, satanic dean that was calling him an ignorant piece of shit. Like holy shit! I'm giving the same energy. I'm giving the same energy I'm getting, right? And I think that scares you. I think that puts you in your goddamn place because you're not used to that. But guess what, baby? No, we're winning the culture war this time. All right, the next 4 years are going to be a fucking roller coaster for you and all of your other alt-right incel buddies that just want to hate, that expect the liberals to goddamn cope. You know what I mean? Like, God, it's gonna be a wild 4 years, and I mean, I really do applaud myself on trying to be the man in the middle of the aisle that can create genuine discussion to convince more people of the light. I do. Okay, right? But there comes a point where my heart is simply too cold and brittle to sit there and accept someone like NJ perpetuating systemic harm and oppression against women, obviously and explicitly so. Stars, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate you for the love. I think the question, right, that should be on the top of your mind is, where does that division stem from? Does it stem from Dean standing against oppression and harm of everything without a dick and balls? Or does it stand from NJ, the person that thinks everyone without a dick and balls should be subservient to him and other men?
I don't think he ever said that, but like I said, that's not the topic I'm debating on, so...
Elizabeth, thank you for the $5 on PayPal.
Personally,
What
I don't
topic
agree
are
with-
you debating on?
Like I said, I think that you guys played a major role in why Kamal lost the election.
Well, you're giving me too much credit, buddy. Lily, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Explain
also
to me
you
why
said-
I've never once had someone tell me that I made them vote for Trump with good reason, but I probably get upwards of 50 DMs a day across all of my social media accounts telling me that I was able to sway someone from voting from Trump to Kamala Harris. In fact, there's even videos from other like content creators with like hundreds of thousands of likes explaining how I was able to convert them from a Republican to a Democrat. Can you find a video of someone explaining how I converted them from a Democrat to a conservative?
No, I mean, I don't really spend my time watching videos of you, bro, but can I just say something, or are you going to mute me again? Because I know you love that mute button.
I'll only mute you if you interrupt me.
All right. So can I say something, or are you going to interrupt?
You got it, man.
All right. So did you ever think about the fact that maybe the only reason you hear about people who switch from Trump to Kamala is because those people are your fans, And the people who switch from Kamala to Trump probably hate you so much that they just don't even want to take the time of day. They're not going to message you and let you know.
Babe,
But
thank you for the $1
to be
PayPal.
fair, I've actually seen multiple TikToks with millions of likes of people saying these 3 dudes are 90% of the reason why Kamala lost, which I think 90% is an exaggeration, but you get my point.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen other conservatives that don't like me because I'm better than you sharing the same sentiment, but I've never seen any evidence for it. And I mean, that's perfectly explained given the conservative pipeline. If 70% of Republicans can think that Trump won 2020, I don't doubt that there's going to be a few alt-right dweebs holding the conspiracy theory that I'm the reason the liberals lost. I mean, it's the same manufactured outrage and hate on the right that we see all the time. Like, I mean, literally, the right is predicated on division and hate. That is a fueling and driving force behind the right. And when we are now entering into a period, right, when your guy has won and there's not this systemic division between you having the views that are oppressed by our federal government because the liberals are in control, you'll want to create more of that division in the left by saying that these 4 young men who advocated for the good every day were the reason their party lost. But it just doesn't work out empirically. You don't have the evidence to justify that. You have I bets, you have I feel, and you have conspiratorial nonsense. You don't have the facts. I would love for you to demonstrate anybody. I want you to serve anyone up to me on a golden platter right now that can explain and articulate to us all how I made them sway from voting for Harris to voting to Trump. And Paige, thank you for the $10 on
Hey,
PayPal.
well-
I appreciate you for the love, Paige. Everybody,
Here we
please
go
show
with the
Paige some love
history,
down
man.
below.
It's so difficult to try to have a conversation with you, man. Like you talk and you talk and you talk and you talk, but you don't really say anything. You just kind of talk. Like I couldn't even tell you. Like I understand the point you're trying to make.
Well,
but
I
what
got
you said
confused when
about-
my calculus 2 teacher in high school would talk too, man. It's okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
well, yeah, I don't like math either. But anyway, as you were saying,
It's not that I'm saying nothing, it's that you're hearing nothing.
All right, man. Cool. So you said liberals are supposed to be these accepting and loving people, whatever. Is that not the entire thing about liberals, that you guys are progressive and you're accepting of everyone and you just want to spread love and kindness, which is all good. I'm not knocking that. But I'm just saying that you guys kind of do the opposite when you hop on your lives and you just see, even right now, you have this smug little smirk on your face. You're just you can't wait to just insult me. And I know you're thinking right now, look at this fucking idiot on my live. Look at you. You're giving this smug little laugh. You
want to be the victim so bad.
No, I'm not the victim,
You
bro.
want to be the
No,
goddamn
all right, bro.
victim
I'm the
so
victim,
bad.
bro. I'm the victim.
Everybody, please
victim,
cry
bro.
for the victim.
Yes, bro,
You
cry for me. That's what I
have
want.
no ammo because I have thoroughly debunked it all, that you have resulted down to saying that the smirk on Dean's face is of the devil. And I want to promote division and hate crime you because of the smug smirk on my face.
I just said I think you're smug.
This is the same guy that didn't know who George Washington was, by the way.
I know who George Washington is, man. I've seen the movie Museum, all right? United Museum, they got the big statue.
Bro.
Dude, it's a joke, man. I know you take everything so literally, but it's a joke, all right? Settle down.
That was of FDR. I can't even believe this shit. Go ahead. Hey, Audrey, I appreciate you for the $35 donation on Venmo saying keep winning, keep debating, King. One moment. Audrey, thank you so much for the $35 on Venmo. Are you mad that Audrey donated me $35?
I mean, yeah, I wish Audrey would donate me $35, but anyway, can you get to your point? So explain.
I bet Audrey would donate you $35 if you were sitting on the other side of this phone advocating for the good, destroying idiots.
So here's my
creating
point.
a better tomorrow. I'm just saying. Well, I mean, you just said the quiet part out loud. I wish Audrey would give me $35. Yeah, you're just fucking. Oh, you smug little piece of shit. Can someone get someone get fucking Satan 2.0 out of my life? He's such a smug little piece of shit.
All right, I never called you Satan, bro. I just said I disagree with your
Mikey, thank you for the $5 on Venmo saying that was for me. I appreciate you for the love, Wayne. Go ahead.
Okay, so as I was saying, do you really think like when Kamala was up there.
Morgan,
getting
thank you for the
attention-
$5 on
All right,
Venmo
here
to
we
make him
go. I'm
jealous.
getting
Thank
interrupted
you.
again by gifters. Like, man, you're proving my point as we speak. Like,
No, you asserted a hypothesis when you first came on my live that I interrupt people with donors when I'm losing a conversation. Right
And
now,
you're
you're hoping
proving
that I'm proving that now by interrupting you, but you lost the part of losing the conversation. Sarah, thank you for the $5 on Venmo saying he's Canadian. I know he's too mean to be Canadian. I
All
think you
right.
need to drink some more maple syrup, sir.
yeah, maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I should ride some more polar bears too. But anyway, do you really think like? And as I said, I am Canadian. I didn't vote for Trump. I wouldn't call myself a Trump supporter. I'm just saying. When I was watching the election, do you really think that when
She, thank you for the
Kamala
$10
was
on
up
Venmo. I
there and
appreciate
she
you for the
made her
love.
primary argument that
W's for
it's
she.
abortion and all this stuff and Trump's going to take away all these rights and whatever, do you really think that 90% of America that isn't your 15-year-old girl fan base, who can't even vote yet, by the way, so those are the people who are supporting you in your Discord, because I was in there and I've seen it. Do you really think that the average
So I would now
working- Can I
like
finish my
everybody.
point,
One
please?
moment.
Can I please finish my point, bro?
After
All right.
this, I would like
see, here we go.
everybody to go ahead and comment your age, not just in the TikTok live channel, but also in the Discord. I have it open to my general chat on Discord. Comment your age on TikTok. Comment your age on Discord. Disprove B Wayne in real time.
Okay,
Take it
so
away.
can I continue, please?
Yeah, do you see all the chats everywhere?
Yes.
proving
Okay.
you
Yes, man. You're so right. I see. All right. As I was saying,
Dean's
do you
so
really
right. I'm gonna
think
listen all
that
the
the average working class American, like you yourself, one day,
Sydney,
I'm sure, are
thank you
going
for
to
the
have
$2
kids.
on Venmo.
What's more important to you, the right to abortion or putting food on your family's table and making sure you don't starve to death?
For sure, both of them. Wait, are you
Both
saying?
of them, yes.
Wait,
But
are
I'm
you saying that Biden and Harris caused people to starve to death?
No, but I'm saying they didn't advocate for them helping that at all.
Advocating people below the poverty line from starving to death. Name one piece of legislation ever pushed through Congress by a Republican, not even Trump, that is solely provided to people in poverty.
Here we go, though. This is what you do. You smother me with a question when I'm trying to get my point out. I haven't even had a chance to finish a sentence yet, bro.
Jordan, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. You need more time to.
All right. See, now, like, you've asked so many questions, I already fucking forgot what I was trying to say.
No, you
As
really
I was
claim
saying,
that the left
do you
seemingly
think
forgot about people
that
below the
when
poverty line
she
that are
was up
starving to
there,
death, and that's
yes.
a problem with the Biden-Harris administration. That was a problem with Harris's campaign.
Yes.
Name any piece of policy ever supported and pushed through Congress by Republicans that solely benefited people in poverty.
All right, so before we get into policy, I'm not saying that she didn't have policies in place that would help that. My argument is that her campaign was dog shit because she got up there and she only talked about abortion and all these rights, which I'm not against that, by the way. I just want to make that clear before everyone starts coming at me with hate messages. But Trump got up there and he promised, and again, who knows if he's going to do it or not. I'm just saying he promised that he was going to make the economy better and he was going to do all these things for people, which to the average working class American, that is going to be more appealing to them for their vote than Kamala up there saying, yeah, we're going to, like, Trump's going to do this and Trump's going to take away your abortion. But, he's up there saying, oh, I'm going to make the economy better. I'm going to make housing more affordable, blah, blah, blah,
Can
blah,
I
blah.
tell you where you went wrong?
All right, where did I go wrong? Because I haven't actually stated a policy
The only person that talked
yet.
about actual plan in the context of economy and housing affordability and reduction of inflation was Kamala Harris. That's where you went wrong.
But that's not
you're
true.
asserting. Yes, it is. You're asserting
That's
a false
wrong.
premise that Kamala Harris didn't talk about economics. I could tell you more about what she proposed with economic policy than what Donald Trump has ever proposed in economic policy. And it
Right.
doesn't just stop there. Right. This also goes into housing policy. This goes into expansions in healthcare policy. Like, you understand that she swept the floor on all of these related issues, like economics. She wanted to invest $2.4 trillion into 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class. She wanted to increase the child tax credits. She wanted to offer a first-time homebuyer subsidy for newly developed properties to reduce the houses' prices in the long term by creating more houses now. She wanted to allow a $50,000 subsidy, a $50,000 tax write-off to new businesses in the first year of their life to further incentivize entrepreneurship and economic mobility in our economy, right? She wanted to cap the amount that any American citizen could pay out of pocket to $2,000 a year for all pharmaceuticals. Said thank you for the galaxy. What was Trump's plan? I bet you couldn't tell me.
But that's literally my entire point, is that she didn't highlight that. Like, yes, she talked about it because that's what presidents do. They're going to talk
Lord,
about
thank
the
you for the
economy.
$10
They're going to do that. If they're running for president, obviously they're going to bring up the economy. I'm saying that wasn't the primary objective of her campaign. She was trying to get through to people with abortion. Whereas Trump, he didn't really touch on that topic much at all. His primary goal was to make people believe, whether he's going to do it or not, make people believe that he was going to make the economy better.
So how is he going to make the economy better? Like, what did he talk about?
That's not my argument, man. My argument, and I've said this 100 times.
What the fuck is your
I've said this 100 times. The whole point of this argument is that her campaign, it's why she lost. I'm not arguing about policies, man. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not even American.
I think the reason
How
that
would I know
Kamala Harris
policies?
lost was for a couple reasons. I think maybe a couple of those reasons would be like messaging from the right about like what COVID onset in the context of inflation, etc. And we didn't see like adequate messaging from the left to counter that, right? So there wasn't enough messaging to counter how the Biden-Harris administration didn't actually cause a lot of the issues in our economy during the last 4 years. Like maybe we could agree there. I'm like, but like this aside, like you're right in part. I don't understand where this comes from. I thought that you were first coming up on my live to make an argument that I made Kamala Harris lose, but seemingly in accordance with the argument right now, if anything, I increased Kamala Harris's chance at winning because you're saying the pitfalls in her campaign, we're not talking enough about economic policy, when economic policy is one of my main focuses in my spaces. So in accordance with your own logic, would you agree? In accordance with your own logic, would you agree that I actually increased Kamala Harris's chance of winning the election because I highlighted the parts of her campaign that she didn't, that you think is the reason she lost?
I think you did do that, but you did it in a very smug manner that just kind of like, I'm not here to fucking insult you. I'm just saying you made yourself kind of look like just a political asshole who just wants to belittle everybody who comes on his live. And also, I've seen the people you debate on here. Most of them are fucking numbskulls. You get them in here, and it's somebody who can barely speak English, and he's talking like he's got some thick accent or whatever. He can barely talk. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
So you're gonna go from calling me smug into like stigmatizing people that don't speak English as their first language by calling them
I'm not talking about
numbskulls?
English first language, man. I'm talking about
What
just
the fuck
people
is
who
this?
sound uneducated.
Wait, are you saying that an accent
I'm not talking
makes you
about
sound
race, bro. Like,
uneducated?
don't try to pin it on me as like I'm some racist. That's not what I'm saying. I
Did
never
you just say
said
that
anything
having an
about race.
accent makes you sound uneducated?
I was talking about I was talking about the obviously Republican Southerners who come on here and I'm not talking about race, bro. You can't try to pin that on me. I know what you try to do. You try to give these trap
So
questions.
Republican
that have no
Southerners. So
right
now you're
answer
saying that a
because you're gonna
Southern
try to
accent
make
makes
me
you sound
look like the bad
uneducated?
guy. All right, bro. Yeah, sure. Like, do you want me to just answer yes to that so you can move on or what?
I mean, you're
What's
just
your
digging your own
defense?
grave, buddy.
What's your defense, bro?
My defense against what?
Other than
You
your
haven't
skull
really-
T-shirt that don't fit you.
So back to it doesn't fit me? Are you saying that I have big muscles?
Nah, it's actually too short.
So then why doesn't it fit me?
You're about 135 pounds soaking wet, buddy. I've seen the TikToks, all right? Like,
So I'm 135 pounds soaking wet, and my shirts don't fit me, and I need to buy more wardrobe, but I'm also really smug, and I'm an asshole.
yeah, you are smug. And you are.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you're a fan. And I don't even think
Yes.
I don't even think my girlfriend pays as close of attention to my wardrobe as you do.
You don't have a girlfriend. You've never been laid, bro. Come on.
Okay, how many holes do females have below the waist?
How many holes do females have? What kind of question is that?
You heard me.
What are you, bro? What? Like,
You heard
how
me.
is it?
How many holes?
How many holes
have
do
below the
females
waist?
have below the waist?
Yeah.
Like, why are we talking about female anatomy, bro? I came on here talking about politics.
No,
and now
I
we're
mean,
talking about female
I was just
private
bringing
parts.
up my girlfriend and how she pays less attention to my wardrobe than you do. And then you were like, oh, well, you've never been with a woman in your life. So please answer my question. How many holes do females have below the waist?
2, bro. Like, what? Is that wrong? Is that
This man is talking about the female anatomy and the woman gaze, and then he goes on to say that women have 2 holes below the goddamn waist. You can't make this shit up, little bro. Dude, the last time you felt the touch of a woman was when you were coming out of one. I'm so fucking sorry. We have this chronically online, alt-right incel D1 hater sitting in his father's basement, probably smelling like the Doritos he ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner a week and a half ago, vigorously typing on his keyboard, Dean Withers is the most smug piece of shit asshole I've ever seen in my life. He's never been laid by a woman. He sucks so much and his shirts don't fit him because I pay attention. Holy shit. Take it to Reddit. Take it to Twitter. Take it to the press, motherfucker. Or more importantly, take a goddamn shower. How about that? That's crazy, B. Wayne. Feel free to unmute. And by the way, for like your future information, right? Females have 3 holes below the waist. Okay? But go ahead and unmute. I'd love to hear your response.
It's funny that you say I live in my dad's basement because I'm actually in a college house that I pay for with my own money, but like that's cool, bro. I'm pretty sure. Do you not live in your parents' house? Like,
No, I
I'm pretty
don't.
sure
I don't
you're
live in
younger
my
than
parents'
me.
house.
You
I
don't
moved
live
out
in
at
your parents'
17.
house.
Moved out
You
at
moved
17.
out at 17,
Yeah, I
bro.
did.
You're badass, bro. You're actually him. Like I got 4 boys in the room right now clowning your bitch ass because they just know like you're just goofy, bro. You're goofy as hell. Like you hop on live, you just I don't know. Like look at your smirk right now, bro. Look at the gifts. People are gifting me. Like that's how you know. Like come on, man.
You just fucking set yourself up for failure with that line.
All right, how'd I set myself up for failure?
Listen.
What's up?
Like I
Explain,
get it.
bro.
So
Elaborate.
I used to be
Mute me
because people are about to start like gifting me a shit ton just because you said that. But listen, here's what I
Mute me
can
again.
say. So I used to Marissa, thank you for the handouts. I used to be in that like conservative space on the internet, and I remember how I would like watch liberal content creators, and I'd share like similar sentiments that you do. I'd be like, they're goofy, they're this, they're that, we're clowning you, etc. But like, here's the thing. Just because I am a better man than you ever will be, Sid, thank you for the rhythmic bear. I appreciate you for the love.
What makes you a better man than me? Elaborate.
Yeah, sure.
Since
I
you
know
love
how many-
asking questions so much. let me
Samantha,
ask
thank
one.
you so much for the $10 on Venmo.
And
And
here we
Lindsay,
go
thank you for
with
the $10
yelling
on
the
Venmo as
gifters
well.
again,
And Heather,
dude.
thank you so much for the money again. I appreciate you, Samantha, Lindsay, and Heather. Francesca, I
Remix.
appreciate you for the money again. I appreciate you guys so much for the love.
I swear
Sorry,
to
guys,
God, it's fake gifts. I swear to God, you don't even be getting Venmos, bro. You just read it off. Like you're telling me people actually glaze you that hard in your Venmos?
I mean, honestly, I'm just doing this because of how much of a.
Crazy.
I'm honestly just going to do this because of how annoying you are. Jeannie, thank you so much for the money again. I
think
really
I'm
appreciate you
annoying?
for the love.
'Cause
So,
there's so many millions of people who would say the same about you, bro.
yeah, like my 2.3
I got
million followers.
1.2K
So there's,
gifts
I just wanted to clarify. There's Samantha and Lindsay.
What up, Lindsay? What up, Samantha?
And there's 30.
I don't know
and
why you
31
guys are giving
seconds
this
ago.
goof money.
So do you like just kind of take it back about the fake gifts?
Yeah,
Or
bro.
do you
sorry,
think that
my
those are
fault.
like
I was
fake bots,
capping, bro.
DNC donors?
I was capping, bro. My fault.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
like,
you know what? I will
back to the
accept.
point.
I will accept your critiques if you could answer one question.
all right, what's the question, bro? Like, I know it's gonna be some crazy shit that you know I don't know the answer to. So like, give it to me.
Killer,
Bring it
thank you
here.
so much for the money again. How many years does it take to get a bachelor's degree in college?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not there yet, but pretty sure it's 4. Like, that's a pretty simple. Like,
I
what?
couldn't tell ya. Pretty sure it's 4 as a goddamn college student. Really?
I mean, I'm taking a 2-year degree and then I'm gonna go to college afterwards. So
You're in your associate's program. Sure. What temperature in Fahrenheit does water freeze?
Bro, like, what does this have to do with fucking politics? Below 0, bro. Below 0. Also, it's
Below
Celsius in
0,
Canada.
it's 32,
No,
motherfucker.
It's funny that you would
Yes, I
ask me
appreciate you
Fahrenheit
for the
because I
$2
live
on
in
Venmo.
Canada where it's literally Celsius. So how would I know
Sure, you live in
Fahrenheit?
Canada.
I do live in Canada. Do you not
I
hear
know
my fucking
Celsius.
accent?
Why don't you know Fahrenheit?
Why don't I know Fahrenheit?
Ethan, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Shut up. Victoria, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo as well. I appreciate you so much for the love.
Bro, it's Celsius. We're on a different metric system than you
Of
guys.
course,
No
of
fucking
course.
duh. I don't know Fahrenheit.
So I have a 2-part question. How many continents are there?
How many continents? 7, bro.
Great,
Like, why are you?
great,
Is this
great.
a geography
Alyssa, thank you for the
quiz or are we
$5 on Venmo. I knew that you'd get that part because you're not from America. For some reason, all of like the dumbasses outside of America know that answer. So, what is the least populated continent in the world?
the least like, bro, why are you quizzing me on geography right now? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to think about that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, okay, let me think. Hold on, I'm gonna get this one.
Antarctica, dumbass.
Okay, but like Antarctica.
There's no permanent settlements on Antarctica. Was that really that hard? Bentley, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo.
What does this have to do
I
with
appreciate you for the love,
politics?
Bentley. Dude,
Like,
all
this
I'm
is
saying,
again proving my point that you just ask useless questions to get away from the topic
No,
when you know
it's
your ass is
proving
getting
my
fried,
point.
bro.
You
know
really
you're getting
think that
fried,
I'm
so you
getting
start
fried by
asking me
someone that
geography.
doesn't?
Your background literally says
Anissa,
I voted Kamala.
thank you so
Why
much
will
for the
Trump be
greeting
good
card,
for
Glory. I
America?
appreciate you for the
You're
love,
gonna
Glory,
start
and Bryn,
asking
thank you
about
for the $5 on
geography, like,
Venmo.
what are you doing?
Okay, one last question.
Yeah, what's
You
the last
said that
question,
I'm getting
bro?
fried.
I'm ready. I'm
So
ready,
name
bro.
the argument that I have made that you have fried.
That I fried? Well, I mean, all of them. You haven't really made any valid points. You just kind of talk a
Give
lot.
me
Use
like
big
a
words, try to
specific
confuse it.
example
Yes, like
of like one point that I've made that you find to be invalid.
I couldn't even tell you, bro, because you just be speaking a whole lot of
Jessica,
nonsense.
thank you so much
honestly,
for the
like-
money gun. You know, I repeated the same sentiment not too long ago. When I was in like my junior year calculus 2 classroom in high school, I remember looking at the teacher some days and being like, God damn, he is sure speaking a whole lot of nonsense. But in all reality, it's just that my brains were fucking scrambled and he was teaching at a level high above my comprehension level. Right? And I feel like that same sentiment may be shared by you right now.
I mean, not everybody is a fucking geek who like studies the dictionary.
Cheyenne, thank you for the $50 on
Start
Venmo. I
yelling
appreciate you for the
bro.
love. Everybody show some love to Cheyenne down below in the chat for the $50 and gotta glaze you. Everybody show some love to Cheyenne. I really appreciate you so much for that. Jacob, thank you for the $1 and Kennedy with the $5.
Let's go.
Wait, did you just stigmatize being educated?
Did I just what?
You just sat there and that you said, no one's a geek like you that reads. Oh my god, look at this nerd that knows so much more than I.
I'm just saying, like, you're the prime example. Like I said, you're a lot better than Parker. Parker is like the range. Honestly, I wish you would add him in here too, so I could fry his ass.
Bro, what are you
Parker
fucking
in
what
here,
are you
bro.
fucking frying with? A campfire and
Get
some
Parker.
water?
No, I'm actually a 5-star chef, but we don't gotta talk about that.
A 5-star chef, really. So I have a question. If you're a 5-star chef, which part of your body is supposed to feel like a steak when it's cooked at medium rare?
The fucking palm of your hand, bro. I know this shit. You touch it with each finger, and that's how
kid's
you
in
know.
culinary. All right, this kid's in culinary.
I'm not in culinary, bro. I
Yo,
worked in-
Cheyenne, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love.
Also,
Everybody
that's-
show some love to Cheyenne down below.
literally
And Lori, thank you so much for the $15 on PayPal as well. Everybody show some love to Cheyenne and Lori. Thank you guys so much for the love. Hey, B. Wayne, would you just thank Cheyenne and Lori real quick?
I don't know. Dean is what is it? Dean get a
Gabriella,
job.
thank you for the $5 on Venmo. What do you think, Cheyenne and Lori, for me, Wayne?
Let's go, Cheyenne! Woo!
Good boy.
Okay, bro. Good boy's crazy.
Cheyenne with another $50 donation on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Cheyenne. Everybody show some more love to Cheyenne down below in the comment section with a $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Cheyenne. Let's get at least 500 W Cheyennes down below in that chat. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay, guys, should we move on from Wayne? Do you have any like closing thoughts you want to share with us here today before we just move on? You gotta has to figure out how to unmute his mic. So Wayne, here's how you unmute your mic. I want you. There you go.
All right, there we go. My fault, man. It usually gives me the option to turn it on.
Do you have any closing thoughts to share?
So yeah, my closing thought. Have you ever done like a bomb?
All right, we're gonna go to move on to our next guest. Let's go and see what our next guest Lucas has to say. Everybody, just give us a minute. I'm sorry for letting that to go on for so long. Wayne was like yapping in the Discord all day. And I couldn't let him continue to embarrass himself. You know what I mean? What's up, Lucas? Did you vote for Trump? Do you think that Trump will be good for America?
Yes, I did vote for Trump, and yes, I think he will be.
Awesome. So why did you vote for Trump, man?
I think a big thing that Trump has going for him versus Kamala, specifically, is his relationship with other countries and their leaders.
His relationship with foreign world leaders. I'd actually say that's a point where Kamala Harris has a better perspective than Trump, because Trump is very harmful relationship with foreign world leaders. Putin thinks that Trump is easy to manipulate. Trump has believed Putin's word of mouth over U.S. intelligence. And like Trump is an absolute warmonger, and that's uncontestable with his appointees to his cabinet right now. Like even Republicans are on Twitter are blowing up saying that people like Dick or Liz Cheney would be better for some of these cabinet positions than who he's appointed. Thank you so much for the travel. I appreciate you for that. Not to mention that not a whole lot of world leaders support Trump because the constituents of their Trump don't support Trump, especially those world leaders in Europe.
The reaction that the other world leaders have given so far, I think there was one that didn't, that kind of had like a smart comment to say about it, but all the other ones that gave out statements, they all approved.
No, they didn't approve. They were just cordial about it, the same way that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were cordial about it. I mean, shit.
Well,
like, how would you feel if another world leader?
Before, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Like, how would you feel if another world leader like invited Trump to his palace to talk to him and say like congratulations and there will be a peaceful transition of power like Biden did? Like, that's just like what cordial world leaders do. Even like Harry Sisson congratulated Trump on winning.
With how Biden was mentally, I mean, how do you think that went behind closed doors, though?
Well, I mean, this is a complete topic change. Whoa, huge shift. You broke my neck. What?
You brought up Biden. You were saying that Biden invited a whole bunch of people over to the house. I mean, how do you think that would go behind closed doors? You know, with everything that he has going on mentally, you know, like he's not all the way there, clearly.
I mean, yeah, I think that he's had mental degradation with old age, but he's definitely more mentally competent than Trump. I mean, we haven't seen Biden deny like an obvious truth, such as the outcome of the 2020 election for 4 years, even though everyone around him, including the courts, are telling him that he's wrong. Official, thank you for the fireworks. I appreciate you for the love.
I think it's important that people question it, just because, you know, that's if everybody just turns a blind eye to it, it doesn't matter. You know, if Trump was, you know, he might have been wrong, he might have been right. I think it's a good thing that people do question it, though, because that keeps everything authentic. You know, if Kamala wanted to question it, I would think it's.
You understand that Donald Trump still hasn't conceded the results of 2020. Like this is just like the biggest, right? Like sophist fucking equivalence ever, right? He never questioned it. He denied it, right? And still is, even though he's been proven wrong.
Well, does that, if his personal belief, does that matter now?
Of course it matters, because he's going to be the next president of our country. And if last time he tried to stage a coup to overthrow the results of a federal election and stress test the checks and balances of our democracy, who knows what he'll do this time? I mean, he's already been seen joking about running again in 2028. I'm very, very, very seriously concerned about what he could do over the next 4 years to further hurt our country. An official, thank you for the galaxy.
Okay, well, I'm not saying that he was right. I'm not saying that, you know, he won, you know, the last election, but I would definitely leave it up for questions, seeing how big of a landslide he won this go around. You know, it does make you kind of question sometimes whether I could have voted for Biden last election and still think it was kind of, you know, it's very, very strange.
Wait, now you're saying that he's going to be good for our country because most people think he is. I don't think that a majority opinion dictates what's like true or false. And what's that, Bree?
You and Parker were saying that the opposite.
Also, it just wasn't a landslide. It just wasn't a landslide. Sure, he was the first Republican in a very long time to win the popular vote, but it definitely was not a landslide.
You and Parker were saying the opposite the other night, though.
No, I certainly wasn't. What do you mean?
You said that in the court case, or actually it was Parker, it wasn't you specifically. Parker said he asked the guy that was on his little debate, you know, well, all the jury was, or the majority of the jury that was in his court case, whichever one it was, I can't remember exactly which one y'all were talking about, you know, can't you just respect the jury decision because the majority of people ruled in favor of whatever was going on, anti-Trump, against Trump, whatever. So
you're not respecting the verdict from the jury just because 9 people agreed that it was the case. You're respecting the verdict from the jury because 9 people agreed that was the case under threat of perjury in lieu of like objective fact, right? Like that's just like as close to a non-biased and objective evaluation of the preponderance of evidence as we could get within a criminal justice system. Sure, there's some holes, but it's definitely different from saying that a majority populist opinion is always right. Like, I mean, if you want to defend that populist opinion dictates truth, when like majority of like humans on Earth thought that the Earth was flat and that was the populist opinion, did it mean that it was true?
Do I think that given the information that was given at the time, okay, so are you gonna go on social media 20 years from now? Okay, say if 20, 30 years from now you end up finding some deep crap about Kamala, right? Are you gonna go back and say that Okay, Trump, are you going to tell everybody that you're wrong this whole entire time?
Yeah, like if there is like some dividend like information that proves certainly that Kamala Harris was a worse pick for president than Donald Trump, of course.
What I'm saying is that
I'm not a partisan hack. Like the only reason why I'm on the left is because I think that objective fact dictates you to the left more so than to the right. But if objective fact dictates that Trump was a better pick for presidency than Kamala Harris, of course I'd rescind my views.
My point was I think in a general rule, the majority is the way to go.
Okay, so if the majority of people thought that slavery would be good to bring back to America, would you agree?
But it wasn't.
If it was.
But it wasn't.
So seemingly you won't engage with my hypothetical question. And also you're saying, but it wasn't, right? That puts like a past tense verbiage on my question. And in the past tense verbiage, yes, it was the majority opinion. But I'm asking you, if the majority opinion today was that slavery would be a good thing for America, would you agree that slavery should come back?
No.
Great,
I mean,
great,
I can still think something.
And then you know, like what was or what is the majority opinion?
Okay, so
there should be federal protections for access to abortion. 60 to 70% of Americans agree that that's a good thing. Do you think that Roe v. Wade should be reinstituted just because most people think it does?
Okay, so this is the kicker. Okay, so if the majority of a country believes something, okay, and you don't align with the majority of the country's belief, I think you should just probably move to another country.
Okay, all right. So you just say that Rosa Parks, MLK, and other advocates for the black community in America at a point where the majority of the country had anti-black virtues and beliefs and behaviors, they should not have advocated for their cause and they should rather have moved to another country?
I'm saying if slavery was still a thing in the United States and I didn't believe it, I'm
gonna have you answer my question very directly. Should MLK, Rosa Parks, and then like leaders of the suffragette movement in America in the 1920s for women to get the right to vote, they all held the minority opinion. Should they have all moved out of our country?
Do I think people that were oppressed should have moved to another country where they wouldn't have been oppressed? Yes.
Okay, so MLK shouldn't have advocated, Rosa Parks shouldn't have advocated, and women in the suffragette movement shouldn't have advocated. They all should have just moved. First of all, if that was the case, today women wouldn't have the right to vote, and black people wouldn't have like the Civil Rights Act ensuring that they have equal opportunity and access to public businesses as white people under the eyes of the law. And then second of all, you're literally just telling us that you're pro-immigration.
I am pro.
Thank you for the $5. You understand that like opinions become majority by advocacy from the minority. So you're basically saying like do you understand how like insane that is? So you don't think that like a minority should advocate for what they believe in?
Okay.
Wait, I have a question. So what if like I have a question. What if 70% of the American populace was non-white women? Okay, right? And us white men were very oppressed, and we had no rights under the eyes of the law. Right? And these non-white women were just like really taking our rights away. Lucas, would you condemn, right, the oppressed class of white men from standing for what they believe in to gain equality under the eyes of the law?
Again, I'd probably move.
You're not answering my fucking question, Lucas.
It kind of, if I was stuck in that position, that is my answer. I think that's a perfect answer I could
get.
But
would you say that there should be advocacy for equality?
Advocacy for equality. I mean, yes. If say like on a.
Oh, so as soon as it's about the white man, you get it. Got it.
I think that's with anything, but I'm saying if the majority, especially so if I was, not white, okay, and I felt like I was being oppressed with whatever, if it was because I was a white dude or it was because I was whatever color, it doesn't matter. Or it could just be because I'm a dude. If I feel like the majority of the country didn't like whatever the case was, I think it'd probably be a whole lot better. I'd be happier, and everybody else that had the
same. And how would you respond to someone that says that they believe that they deserve equality where they stand?
Repeat the question.
And how would you respond to someone that would say that they deserve equality where they stand?
I would say that. Oh, I mean, what makes you like something if everything is wrong? Like if I'm living somewhere and I think that take it as an apartment.
I'm asking you a question. What would you say to someone that would advocate for equality where they stand? What would you say in the face of MLK? I'm being dead serious. What would you say to Martin Luther King Jr.? We are going to assume that that you see MLK giving a public speech in the mid 20th century, advocating for civil changes in America, right, for the end of segregation and the Civil Rights Act.
I don't think he was the
and what
minority.
would you say to MLK? He was. Yes, you absolute incompetent fuck. Absolutely, advocation for equality for Black Americans was a minority view.
Okay, how many Black Americans were Americans at the time during the MLK movement?
How many? Like 10 to 13%? I'd guess. I don't know. Maybe it was even smaller.
Okay, would you say? I mean, how big of the white population do you think at the time were with MLK?
I'm sure that there's a stat out there, but once again, a minority. So
Okay.
overwhelmingly, right? Like people that stood for civil rights for Black people to be equal to that of white people, that was a minority view.
I don't think it was a minority.
Okay, you're just a dumb fuck.
If it was a minority, then it wouldn't have changed. Nothing would have happened.
No,
It
because
stayed
it
the
was a
same.
minority view that was advocated for, then put into law because of it, the virtues in it. Like, are you seriously sitting here telling me that like most people disagreed with segregation of like Black people, right, within the workplace, within schools, within public businesses in like 1930, 1940? Are you saying that most people didn't agree with that? You don't know history.
During MLK's movement, I would say the United States as a whole disagreed with it, or it wouldn't have happened.
Okay, give me any evidence of that.
The fact that it happened, the fact that the change happened.
But what had to occur for that change to happen?
A majority of people agreeing on a topic.
And how did a minority of people get majority?
I said
of people to
majority.
agree? How did the minority of people get the majority of people to agree?
I don't think it was a minority. I think people sit there.
You dumb fucking shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! You are so stupid. You're an absolute nincompoop. You're actually fucking dumb. Are you? Whoa. Whoa, the year's 1910, you're telling me that over 50% of American citizens thought that Black people deserved total and utter equality to white people?
Okay, how do you think the Civil War?
No. The year's 1910. Are you telling me that over 50% of American citizens thought that Black people deserved equal rights and opportunity to white people?
Did the MLK movement happen in 1910?
No. In 1910, do you think that over 50% of Americans thought that Black people deserve equal rights and equality and opportunity as white people?
I think the majority of people believe that Black people should have the same rights even before that. Otherwise, the Civil War, the Union wouldn't have won.
Wait, you think that the Civil War determined that Black people should have equal rights to white people?
What did Abraham Lincoln sign in?
Oh my God. No, the Civil War ended slavery, but it did not give equal rights to Black people, right, as we saw granted to white people. Was segregation after slavery, Lucas?
Yes, but things...
So then how could you say that the Civil War gave equal rights to Black people if they were literally still segregated?
That's not what I'm saying.
That is what you're saying.
I'm saying it's a...
Megan,
it's a
thank you for the
prime
$10
example.
on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Megan.
I'm saying it's a prime example.
These people vote. Like, these people actually vote. Do you have anything to weigh on?
Could you
here,
listen to
Santana?
me for like 2 seconds?
No, not even your mother would listen to you.
Dean, I can see it on your face, and Dean, just let me take it. Let me take it. I got you.
Take it away.
Lucas, you do understand that if there was a majority of people that supported the civil rights movement, that supported Martin Luther King Jr., that not only would they would not have had to have protests including sit-ins. They would not have been sprayed with water hose. They would not have been chased by dogs. They would not have been beaten, thrown in jail, literally marching for equal rights. That would not have been the case. They would not have to do that if, to Dean's point, the minority had to convince the majority to go along with giving these equal rights. What you're saying is absolutely insane. Not even close to being right. Not even a little bit.
Wouldn't you say that was more or less like a location thing, though?
No.
Like it was okay. Hold on. It was definitely a minority. It was definitely a minority, like down towards the south.
It was the entire. You know that most people in the United States, most black people, in order to get anything close to equal rights, had to actually leave the U.S. and go to Canada. You do understand this was a nationwide thing. You do understand the Civil War was because people wanted to retain the rights of slavery. And even Abraham Lincoln, which you mentioned, the Emancipation Proclamation, even Abraham Lincoln stated that if he could actually keep his union and not free the slaves, then he would. The only reason he freed the slaves is not because he wanted to, it's because it was tearing the country apart.
And why would it be tearing the country apart?
Because more people throughout different parts of the country did not think it was right to own slaves.
Repeat that.
More people within the United States did not think it was right to own slaves, while other people within the United States wanted to own slaves. And Abraham Lincoln understood that he could not keep the country together and keep slaves.
That would mean it was the majority.
No.
You just said more people. More means majority.
Not the majority of people. There's people who wanted to keep. I'm gonna dumb it down for you, like to the simplest thing. Some people wanted slaves. Some people didn't want slaves. There was no way to actually keep slaves and keep the country. If there was a majority that was like, we're good with slaves, then there would still be slaves.
That's what I'm saying. That's my argument with Dean 5 minutes ago. As I was saying, the majority of people during that time period disagreed with it, and he said I was wrong. We just said the exact same thing.
No, we did not. You're not listening. I'm not saying the majority of people. I'm saying it was some people did, some people didn't. Some people did, some people didn't. There was no majority in the Civil War. And then your point about the majority in civil rights is completely, there's no majority. And let me just make this even more simple for you, Lucas. There's never been a situation that a marginalized community, whether it's people of color, black people, whether it's the, LGBTQ plus community, whether it's women, there's never been a situation where those marginalized communities are the majority. So if you ever think that's the case, just stop.
My thing is which was bigger, the Union or the Confederacy?
Well, how about this? We just have a Gallup poll literally right now. There's Gallup that polled public opinions, and in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. The majority of Americans prior and during MLK's original marches stood against equal civil rights for black people compared to white people.
So you're saying it was the minority of people that wanted civil rights, the majority of people didn't want it?
Yeah. That's what he's been saying the whole
from people like MLK to finally get that into a majority, very slimly, to be codified into law. But it took the advocation from the minority for that majority to be reached.
And you do understand that
There we go. I think I should fix the lag there. The lag should be fixed.
You do understand that even after that happened, there was still many people who pushed back on it, who didn't accept it. Like there's been a constant battle for civil rights, even after the civil rights laws were passed, because it became an issue with enforcement.
Well, yes, I understand that.
Wait, do you not support Donald Trump's call to rescind the right to get an abortion back down to the state because majority of American citizens think that they should be federally protected?
Do I think that me personally,
like, would you uphold the view that access to abortion should be federally protected, right? And then if you don't like it, you should move? Because that's what majority of Americans want.
you're saying the majority of Americans want it to be federally protected. So do I?
Yeah, Megan, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you
States.
for the love. Yeah, I mean, he went against the majority. Honestly, Trump should have just moved, right?
I think, me personally, I think something like that is kind of against what the country was built on.
Oh, thank you for the blooming. Well, I don't really care what you think because you represent the minority view and you should move, right?
If the majority of people thought exactly like you do, as far as everything goes, if every single thought and every single opinion was out on the table, and 99% of the people thought the exact same way you do, yes, I would move.
Oh, wait, but now you're moving the goalposts from a majority insofar as more than 50% to 99% of people. Okay, well, 99% of people have never supported equal rights for black Americans compared to white Americans. So
Okay,
would you tell MLK to move?
51%. 51%.
Perfect, 51%.
Doesn't matter.
So about
Majority.
60 to 70% of people think that there should be federal protections for access to abortion.
I think it breaks the Constitution.
Oh, wait. What article of the Constitution do you think that federal protections for access to abortion break?
The separation between government and state.
What?
So, wait, you think that a federal law is unconstitutional?
I think that the power should be held by the states. The Constitution was written in a way to where the government wouldn't have but so much power, the states would have majority of the power, and I think that's the way it should.
So you think that federal income tax is unconstitutional?
Federal income tax is non-constitutional?
Because it applies to every American citizen in every state.
Do I think it's unconstitutional? It doesn't say anything about taxes in the Constitution.
Hey, well, what about Trump wanting to put in a nationwide law that gives you open carry no matter what state you're in? So do you think that Trump should be able to provide a sweeping federal law that supersedes state laws?
The Constitution gives you the right to bear arms.
You literally just said that there's states' rights and the federal government doesn't get the ability to dictate the states for states' rights. And yet multiple states have a no concealed carry law. And Trump is saying that he wants to be able to do that across the country, regardless of the state.
Wait, actually, can we just do it this way? Give me one interpretation of the Constitution by a constitutional lawyer that suggests that federal protections for access to abortion are unconstitutional. Or, for 40 years, they were literally ruled to be a part of the Constitution, just to put that one out there, right? So please give me a single interpretation by any constitutional lawyer that would say that they're against the Constitution.
What do you... Dean, you're going to have to repeat that one, slow it down, bring it down a notch or two, try it again.
This is unfair, bro.
I'm saying it's clearly not in the. It's like a loaded question. That's why I'm trying to sit there and come up with the best words to answer it. Obviously, the Constitution isn't going to have anything to do with abortion in it because abortion back in the day it would have been looked at as murder the same way it is looked at by a lot of the people here.
Oh wait, abortion isn't murder because the majority of people disagree. Don't like it. Move. Amanda, thank you for the $5 on PayPal.
You're saying the majority of people think that abortion isn't murder?
Yup, Gallup proves it. Yeah, public polling absolutely proves it.
Okay, that's cap.
No, it's not. 70% of American citizens think that abortion's not murder.
That's definitely cap.
No, would you like my source?
If that was, I don't care. Okay, what's the source from?
Sure, I got you. Yeah, this is Pew Research Center. Just look up Pew Research Center public opinion on abortion. You will see today that 63% of American citizens say that abortion should be legal in all or most cases.
Also, what's your worldview, Lucas? Like, what premise that you hold that abortion is murder? Is it religion or is it the Constitution? Like, specifically.
Okay, one towards Dean. That's 63% of the people that they asked. Okay, that's not the whole entire country, because I definitely didn't get asked that question.
Oh my God! Oh my God! What did you just say to me?
It says 63% of people said that they don't think abortion is murder. Okay?
I'm gonna cry in poli-sci. I'm going to shed a fucking tear for statisticians.
You're using too many big words, Dean.
How
Slow it down
is
and
that
bring it
hard
down
to
a level.
understand? How is that hard to understand?
Exactly, Dean.
You said the poll.
Jesus
You said the poll. Let me repeat what you said. You said the poll. 63% of Americans believe that abortion is not murder. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get that question. No one asked me. That's 63% of the people that they asked. Okay, that's not.
No.
How would they know what 63% of the population believe if not everybody got asked?
Lucas, okay,
That's
so
like walking into a Biden convention and being like, okay, who's
hold
up
on,
for
Lucas,
Biden versus who's up for Trump?
Lucas,
Obviously,
just by your worldview, are you saying that Donald Trump should not be president because every American didn't get a chance to vote or did not vote?
Yeah.
Because a
Idly, thank
majority
you
of
for the
people don't
$10 on
vote.
Venmo. Idly, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love.
it was everybody did have the chance to vote, and that's my whole argument right there.
Okay,
63%.
I'm gonna try to explain to you like how like polling works. Kylie, thank you so much for the $2 on Venmo. So first of all, I'm not a statistician. I took one poli-sci course and I really didn't enjoy it that much, but I feel like I have a better understanding than you do, so maybe I could help you out. So what pollsters do, what surveyors will do, what statisticians will do, including Pew, is they will take a sample size representative to the overall population, right? And they will select this sample based upon various attributes to try to find it, right, as non-biased as possible. And Matt actually has a master's degree in this, and I would love for Matt to come up and try to explain this to you. I just got a text that said my master's degree is crying.
Well, I've been listening.
And what you just said is my problem. That's
I've
my
been
problem
listening,
right there.
and I was like, "This is hurting," and my degrees on my wall are literally crying right now. They're like shedding tears. And so,
what are you explaining?
no, I mean, Dean, you're doing a good job. Yeah, so they have a sample that is generalized to the population, and based on a very scientific formula or a very scientific theorem, they can then extrapolate what the general population will overall look like based on that sample.
There's always the chance that the poll could be wrong because
This
of
guy's so
what people were asked or where they live and what they. I'm saying there's too many factors in there for one poll.
Well, Lucas, you are correct. I will give you that. You are correct, which is why statisticians factor that in. That's called a margin of error. And all polls have a margin of error, either plus or of a given population supports something, it will have a margin of error of plus or minus 4, meaning that the true percentage lies either 3 to the left or 3 to the right. So either it's 65 or it could be 71. So we already factor that in.
All right, so like we know for certain that at least a majority of Americans support legal access to abortion and do not view it as murder, due to the fact that the standard of error, right, on this Pew poll, right, is 3 to 4%, right, and at the bare minimum that would mean that 59% of American citizens support access to abortion, and that is certainly true
On the low
That is
end.
a certain fact.
Yeah, on the low end.
At least.
It could
At
be
least
as high as
59.
something. Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to know if it's like, if it's a what's the word? Okay, is it wrong for me to question polling no matter what the polling is?
No,
So
no.
if
You should
people
always
were-
have skepticism with it when it comes to polling. But what we're talking about though is not polling that is predicting something. We have polling about the state of play in a given situation at that moment. For example, a poll of a outcome, such as we saw when it was Trump versus Harris, right? That's a predictive poll. That could be very wrong by God knows how much. A Pew poll or a Gallup poll is taking people's opinions in real time. Therefore, the margin of error is a lot less because you're not predicting anything. You're simply giving a snapshot in time.
And so just to be honest, Lucas, what is wrong for you though is for you to actually question verifiable data, right? When you're able to actually verify this information, when Dean is providing a trusted source where you can actually use this as a reference, and then you push back on it and say, "Nuh-uh, that's not true." And the only time you actually accept information if it is coming from, your Mandarin Messiah, that's when it's wrong. So, like, I would say you kind of need to take a look at that and understand that all information that you're receiving is not false information.
I'm not saying that it is false information. I'm saying that I question it, and I think that's 100% okay to do.
At what point do you stop? My favorite is
The
pumpkin
mango
spice
Mussolini.
Palpatine. So I like
I also got the mango Mussolini. I mean,
Mango Mussolini. Yeah, that's a good one. No, but Lucas, the problem is though, is Dean could cite many more that have that same statistic, right? Pew is not the only one. Gallup is not the only one. There are multiple data sources that are saying the same thing. And so once you have a conglomerate of polling sources that are saying the same thing, your level of skepticism should drop dramatically.
Okay, well, that's like saying majority of the Republican news stations took polls and they're all saying that Trump is the smartest guy on the earth, and then you have CNN that says no, he's not. That's a good
example.
As soon as one person says no, he's not, I'm going to question it.
No,
It doesn't matter if
Lucas,
I like
that's a
Trump
good
or not.
example. No, Lucas, you gave me a perfect example. Your question is, what do Republicans think of Trump? When you give me data about what Republicans think of Trump, I should agree. I don't have to factor in CNN at all. Because when I poll Republicans, and if 90% of them say that Trump is the greatest thing since sliced bread, that's a good data point.
Damn. Yeah.
You're making my point for me, Lucas.
I'm still going to question it, no matter how many news stations
So what
say,
are you questioning?
Whether it's valid information or whether it's bias.
Well,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the
Lucas,
information works in my favor or not. I'm still going to question
By the way, Santana could probably vouch for me on this. We can point out there are people still alive to this day who remember what it was like during that time, and they can tell you how much public opinion was not on their side.
yeah, no, literally, my grandfather, who just passed away a couple of months ago, he and I used to have these conversations all the time. He remembers the time of segregation. He remembers having to use colored only bathrooms, and when he couldn't go into certain restaurants, and all the hate and the absolute pushback they received. And also, there's still documents, there's videos literally of people talking about once the civil rights bill was passed, how certain people literally hated the bill, didn't want black people to live in the community with them, and they talked about this as such a terrible, terrible thing. This is all verifiable. That's my whole point, and that's what I've been saying this whole time, Lucas. There's nothing wrong with questioning things, but when you question verifiable facts, that's when you have a problem.
Well, not only that, Santana, we have both anecdotal and empirical data. So we have both of them. So we have the gold standard here.
Well, I mean, we could even make the gold standard a little bit more gold, more gold.
A little bit more shiny.
Yeah, we could polish that gold standard just by adding on the fact that Lucas doesn't have any demonstrable data, empirical evidence polls otherwise to suggest that the
But
opposite is
I just want to mention.
I don't have to have any.
No,
I don't have to have any. My point is it doesn't. I think when people stop questioning things and they just go with what everybody tells them
So
to,
what's your question?
and believe.
So what I mean, so I need you to critically examine the Pew Research poll that I gave you to demonstrate that 63% of American citizens agree that access to abortion should be legal, and I want you to like critically critique it. Like, what's your critique? What's your critique of their methodology? Do you have a critique in the sense of like another reputable pollster that would hold a differing view? Like, what is your critique? Or do you just like question it because you don't like it?
I think that if you say the general or the population, 63% of the United States population, which is what you said, which is what the poll is, that's what the poll is called. If you say 63% of Americans like this, they don't like this, then I think all Americans need to have the option to, and I don't think it needs to be random because I think there's
But,
It has
but
to be
Lucas,
random. It has to be.
Lucas, like by your logic though, how do you poll every single American? Like, do you think that every single American even completes the census? Because we have a hard time with just doing that. Like, how do you propose being able to get a sub or being able to actually check in with every
Santana's
American?
correct, actually. Our census is technically a sample. Technically.
Yeah, then like also we know with the use of like mathematical arithmetic that we have like near certainty in the outcome of these polls given the margin of error. Like, you do understand that, right, Lucas? Right? And like Pew Research Center, right, isn't just some random company. It is probably the most reputable polling organization that has ever existed.
Outside of Gallup, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the polling, Dean, this is my thing. I'm not saying that the polling was wrong. I am saying that it is important for people to question things.
But you
I'm
don't
saying,
have any. You don't have any
what are the-
substantial concern. You don't have any substantial critique, right? That would lead you to the conclusion, right, that you should find this data to be false. Like, I mean, now you're just devolving into skepticism.
But also, I want to say too.
My critique would be not everybody. If it's going to sit there and give the title that 63% of America's population, right, believes in a certain viewpoint, then the American population needs to be asked, not just a sample.
Okay, so you're
that's
critiquing like a whole field of like of mathematics. You understand that? You're not just like questioning Pew in this one study that they did. You're questioning statistics. You're questioning, right, political science. You're questioning, right, like people with like doctorates that have had their doctorate for like 50 years. And have
Okay,
hundreds
well,
of
a lot of
thousands other
people that
do the
had
same thing.
doctorates
You're questioning data science as a field as a whole. I have a question. Can you name anybody with a college degree that questions data science with the same concerns that you do? Can you name anybody, any other human that is living and has consciousness with a college degree that has the same questions of data science that you do?
I don't know anybody in the data science field.
Look, Lucas, let me just ask you a serious question. Like, if you know that you're not a specialist, right? If you know this isn't your expertise, if you know that like this is not what you do, why do you push back so hard on the smart people that do their jobs? Like, why do you guys?
Okay.
You also rely on like data science to like drive your fucking car.
Absolutely.
The only reason that you know that when you get in your car, the gas pedal will make you go and the brake pedal will make you stop is because of similar mathematic arithmetic and data science to determine that there's a certain quality standard met for the parts given your car. When the manufacturer of your car tells you that like your engine is gonna work until like 300,000 miles, right? Like they're doing that based upon a preponderance of research and data science, given the efficacy of similar parts and mathematical like arithmetic. You understand that, right? Like the same way that we use data science to poll.
Trusting every single poll that's done is like trusting every single mechanic to work on your car.
Lucas,
Okay,
you're
so you have
It's not my field, okay, but I can still question on whether
Lucas.
they're doing something right or wrong.
Lucas, once again, you're misunderstanding what this poll is talking about. This poll is not like a poll that we had this election cycle, right? It's not a predictive poll. It's a poll simply giving you the data about, there's no need to really question it that much because it's just giving you data about what people think. It's a basic opinion poll.
Dean's point was it's not my field, and Santana's, their point was it's not my field, that it's their field, people that went to college.
Well, what are you questioning?
So I should just go along with what they say
what are you
because
questioning?
it's in their field.
What are you questioning about this this Pew Research Center poll?
That it's not correct, because it can't be correct, because it says 63% of the United States population.
Lucas,
Okay.
Can I answer the question without being interrupted, please? Every single time y'all talk, I'll let you finish.
Okay, so are you just saying that the poll's incorrect because it says it's representative of 63% of the populace, but they didn't interview and ask this question to every American?
I'm saying it could be. There could be
And the
incorrect
answer to
because
that's wrong. That's wrong. The reason that's wrong, that it can't be, right, is because it's factored in when the statisticians and the data scientists are creating the poll. They call it a margin of error. Matt already explained this to you, right? It's impossible, given this poll, for less than 49% of American citizens to be against access to abortion. It's literally impossible.
And I just want to say, Lucas, if you were basing your skepticism on anything rooted in facts, if you knew the actual information and you knew how to review the information and you saw an error, or you could break it down in any way, shape, or form, or if you had someone that supported that stance that actually had that level of knowledge, then you would be absolutely right to question it. But you're questioning it based off of just I don't think this number is true, so I'm going to question it. Your actual skepticism isn't based in anything.
Yeah. Can you respond to that last bit, Lucas? The fact that margin of error is factored in when statisticians and data scientists are crunching the numbers, and it is literally impossible for less than 59% of American citizens as a whole to not support access to abortion.
To respond to what Santana said first.
No, just stick with Dean. It's okay. Just stick with Dean.
We're making the same point.
Okay. I don't think this. It's. I'm just going to end up repeating the same thing I've done said over and over and over again. I feel like we're going in a circle. I don't think, regardless of what the poll says, okay, I think that you can't say, okay, so...
No, you can. Stop. You're already wrong. You can. Yes, you can. It's mathematics. It's math. You can say that. That's what you can't move past. You can say what all American citizens think based upon a sufficient sample size, correct sample gathering in mathematics. You can say what all Americans think. Yes.
Okay, so if you put 10 people in a room, okay, and all right, so 10 people represents the whole United States population.
No,
correct?
actually, no, Lucas, I'm going to stop you only because that's a good question. But the reason why is we have a mathematical formula for determining what the minimum number of sample size is to get an accurate result. The minimum in most scientific studies is about 22. 22 is the bare minimum, like the bare of the bare, right? But most go into the hundreds, possibly even the thousands, because the larger your sample size is, the more likely it is that you can have external validity. That's what the term is, meaning that you can generalize outside of your study or outside of your poll, okay? So the bigger your sample size, the bigger your validity is.
Yeah, we literally have mathematic arithmetic to determine what size of sample we need so we can say with certainty what the majority of Americans think.
Okay,
that's a part of the mathematics.
How many polls did we see up until the election that also said that?
Lucas, I explained this to you already. Didn't I explain that 5 minutes ago? I told you that a predictive poll is different than a opinion poll. One is measuring to try to gauge what something will be, and one is measuring what the current opinion is with no predictive value. Dean cited to you a poll that is measuring opinion on a given issue. It is not subject to all the error that we typically have with the polls, like we're trying to predict something like Harris versus Trump. It's a different methodology. It's a different weighting system. It has different validity. It's an entirely different system of statistics.
Okay. Well, I'm saying that regardless of my personal beliefs, regardless of who gave the poll, whatever, I'm going to question it. And that's
You don't have any questions. You have no valid questions, you nincompoop. Holy shit. We are solving all of your qualms. What is your question? Is your question, how can we say with a small sample size what all Americans think? Math and statistics. Would you be able to get a sample size of 10 people to say what all Americans think? No, because the math and statistics say that that's an insufficient sample size. What other questions do you possibly have? If you want to question like the predictive polls about the outcome of the election and how they were wrong, predictive polls are different from opinion polls to dictate what is the case in reality as it is, as Matt just explained. So what is your damn question?
Is it? I don't think it's wrong at all
Lucas, we just did this one. We don't say you don't think it's wrong to question polls. We've already did this one.
We just need to know what your damn question is, son. Sarah, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Sounds like to me, Lucas, you're questioning the polling and the whole basis of modern statistics simply because we have evidence that you're wrong. Like, I think that's why you're questioning it. Because if Dean had cited you data showing that you were correct in your assumptions, you probably wouldn't be questioning the entire basis of modern statistics, right?
Yes. You are questioning like millions, tens of millions of human hours invested into mathematics and ingenuity. You are questioning the fabric of intellectualism within data science and research. You are trying to create a perception that everybody but you is wrong.
Okay, so if that's the rule of thumb, you think majority of Americans were wrong for voting for Trump?
That has nothing to do with the conversation
that's our
we're
opinion.
having.
That's not like that's not a data point. Like
Well,
my
I
opinion
understand it's not a data point, all right. But if we're going by statistics and the rule of thumb, 73 or 74 million people. The last time I looked at it, before some of the swing states came in.
No, we're not going to pivot. We're literally not going to pivot away from you and this Pew Research poll that demonstrates that most Americans support federal protections for access to abortion and why you don't agree. So I just want to clarify. Do you agree that at the minimum, 59% of Americans support access to abortion?
Do I agree? 59% of Americans. I would have to see the poll.
I gave you the poll. I gave you it. Pew Research. Public support for abortion.
But Lucas, what is your qualm with the idea that a majority of Americans disagreed at a certain time with civil rights? Why is that so preposterous to you?
But his thought process is that if a majority of people didn't agree with it, then it would not have happened. That's where his thought process is.
But Lucas, I think Dean already framed you right. The majority of history of things passing has been the minority trying to change the majority's opinion so that they could pass things. And by the way, often major legislation passed in the face of majority opposition, right? Mm-hmm. Lincoln, Roosevelt, FDR, JFK, LBJ, they all passed monumental legislation even though the majority disagreed with them. And it took often decades for the majority to come around to it. The most recent example is the ACA. When Obama passed the ACA, most Americans did not like it. It took 10 years, and now we're at a point where 60% of Americans, 70% of Americans like the ACA, right? Mm-hmm. That's how it works.
And Joseph, thank you so much for the $20 donation on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love. Everybody, please do show some love to Joseph down below. Thank you so much.
And can I just say, Paris, thank you for the $2. Joseph, thank you for the $20, and Zill, thank you for the $20.
So Lucas, I have a question. How many continents are there?
7.
What's your favorite?
North America, baby.
What are the other 6?
Africa, or no, South America, Antarctica, Asia, the one right below.
There's
Okay.
not a continent below Asia.
Mexico?
No, not below Asia, below North America, but right beside South America.
What?
Okay. What temperature in Fahrenheit does water freeze?
32.
Lindsay, thank you so much for the
I wanna go
$25
back-
on Venmo saying we beg you to kick him.
I
Thank
want
you
to
for the
go back to
$25, Lindsay.
what's below South America or what's next to South America?
Africa.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's separated by an ocean, but okay.
Yeah, no,
next
it's technically below. Like if you look at a globe, it's below, right? It's south.
Thought it was West America. Hey, Lucas, is
Africa is to the east, and it's literally below the equator, so it's actually on parallel with it. Don't look at a globe. Globes are often distortions. South America and Africa are like this, so it's not like Africa is like here. That's not how it works.
I just kicked him. I can't believe I did that to myself for so long.
Dean.
I can't believe I did that to you guys. I can't believe I did that to the chat.
That was interesting.
The only reason I came up is because I could see your IQ dropping. Like I could watch it in real time. And Matt, when you got here, that's why I said good luck. But I'll tell you guys this one thing before I get out of here. I understand Lucas. Because everything is a conspiracy theory when you don't know how anything works. Super easy.
Yeah.
That's a
You're
good
right.
way to say it. Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, a lot of people end up going into conspiratorial nonsense because technology is advanced to such a degree where like some people don't know how anything in the world around them works.
Yeah.
Right? And then that just opens the door to like gibberish, like whatever he was telling us.
Just-
like there's
I-
much less. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just trust the smart people. Let the smart people be smart. Like I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Cynthia, I appreciate you for coming on. man.
Anyway, absolutely. I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Dean, for having me up. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Of course.
Bye,
You guys have a
Santana.
good one.
See you, Matt.
Bye, Matt. Bye, you guys. All right, chat. We're only probably going to do a handful of more conversations. Then I'm going to get off and go try to film a video of me playing the piano or something to post. I don't know. Just something to post. I can't even believe that I'm still on. Holy shit, dude. Oh, my God. Honestly, do you guys just want to like do a little debrief, do a little Q&A for like 20 minutes, hang out? Or just do like a last debate, yeah? Okay, sweet. We're gonna do that. Okay, awesome. We're gonna do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're just gonna spend the rest of the day here doing a little debrief, a little bit of a Q&A, just kind of hanging out as a community compared to conversations. That guy made me tired. Yeah, that guy fucking made me tired as well. A lot of people asking about Parker. Yeah, Parker will be on at 5. So in 40 minutes, Parker will be on. Please talk about the Doge. Ooh, I think it's a good idea in theory, but just a bad idea in application because he'll probably end up cutting a lot of like efficient programs that are good for America because he has a political bias against them. Sid, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Sid. Sid says, I just got my dream job today. I don't have many people to tell, so I wanted to tell someone. Sid, you are great. Dude, everybody congratulate Sid. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the $15. If you want to ask me a question, my Venmo, my PayPal, or my bio, I'll be answering all the questions I get over there. Of course, I will also be going towards the chat. But like, I'll be able to read everything on Venmo, on Venmo specifically, and then, once every other chat, or something like that, just because it's going so faster on TikTok. Let's see. What was my favorite color? Forest green. Hell yeah. Thoughts on the 4B movement? Based, right? Like that is one objective lever of control that women have over men. Capitalizing on that is a good thing. Do I like The Weeknd? Sure. Yeah. I grew up on his music. I don't know, like, if Abel's, like, a bad person, though, so don't, like, clip me on that. How am I? I'm really tired. I'm like really fucking tired today. I won't lie. Sydney, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. Wondering if you heard about the case of Jackson Cradle, and if not, I'll be able to tell you about it. It's close to home and he was a friend. Sydney, yeah, I don't know anything about Jackson Cradle, and I'd love to look into that. Feel free to give me some resources. Casey, thank you for the $1 on Venmo, saying thoughts on the new role Trump wants to make for Elon. I actually think that the idea of like a Department of Government Efficiency is a good idea. I do. I just think that giving like control over that to like two very biased Republicans is a bad idea. Let's see. Morgan, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. Not a question, but can you plug looking up Women's March? ACLU has state-by-state guides. Yes, please. Everybody, please get involved with local women's marches. I will probably be getting involved myself. Please get involved. That is such a good idea. Yes, please do that. That would be a phenomenal thing for you guys to do. Alexis, thank you for the $1. Why can I not subscribe to you on TikTok? Are subscriptions turned off on this account? Maybe. Caitlin, thank you for the $5. What are the odds you do a stream with Hassan? Hassan actually reached out to me and asked me to come on his stream and then egoed me and never responded. I'm a little bit hurt. Let's see. Layla, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. Dean, opinions on the state of UK politics right now? We're so cooked. I don't know anything. I think the last thing I know about UK politics was when everyone was like killing each other. And I know nothing about it. Stefan, thank you so much for the $2 on PayPal. Just thought it was funny when the Canadian guy said all of your followers were high school girls who can't vote. I'm a 23-year-old Afro-Caribbean male who goes to work every day, and I completely support everything you say. No, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Stefan. You're fucking awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see. Jess, thank you for the $4 and the 63 cents on PayPal. Dean, I went into debt sending you $3 the other night, and I've just gone into debt again. Shout me out. Yo, shout out Jess for going into debt, but you should not be donating to me if it puts you in debt. How about that? For the $5 on Venmo, I appreciate that, Maddie. If you had to choose, would you rather stay only debate people in person or on TikTok Live? In person, but I mean, there's just so many like practical reasons why I do it on TikTok Live. It just has a greater reach. Catherine, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Why was Kamala Harris's $25,000 for first-time homebuyers only for first generation? It wasn't only for first generation. It was for all first-time homebuyers. Sophia, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, asking for my ideal 2028 presidential candidate, Pete Buttigieg for sure. Abby with the $5 on Venmo saying, do you think that Project 2025 is real and actually going to happen? I think that there's going to be some facets of it that are going to be implemented, especially with some of Trump's picks for his cabinet members that happen to be authors on it. And I guess we'll just see how it ends up playing out. All right. I'm going to take a couple more questions here, then end for the night. If you want to ask me a question, my Venmo is in my bio. And honestly, I'll try to keep it on Venmo because it's really hard for me to get to questions on PayPal. I have to like click 3 times, but on Venmo, it's just all right in front of my eyes. Brianna, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Going to transfer in 2 semesters to start my degree in philosophy, politics, and economics. Thank you for giving me hope and inspiration to stay educated. Brianna, let's fucking go. That's what I love to see. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Brenna. You are literally such a G. Everybody, show some love to Brenna. Kayla, thank you for the $5. Please suggest some reading material to help understand politics. I feel politically ignorant and want to be more prepared come next election. Honestly, if I was you to understand politics, I wouldn't do reading material because that'll just kind of teach you theory on like base plate, political theory, maybe even like economic theory as well. But if you want to learn more about like politics as it's applicable to America, I just recommend staying more in the loop with my streams, Parker's streams, other people on here that are constantly talking about these things, getting better informed by following news sources like AP, and then like reading their agendas, reading what they've done, etc. Morgan, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. What's your favorite kind of music? I'm all over the place. But honestly, in like recent times, it's surprisingly been more like country music, which I know is like really surprising. Not only because of the rest of my personality, but then also like how my music taste has been historically. I don't know though. I don't know. Sometimes country slaps. You know what I mean? And that is such a like weird and random thing for me to say too. Faye, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. And Alex, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. And Kay, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Alex says, longtime fan, can't tip much. However, I'm a Disney cast member and would love to hook you and Parker up with some park passes someday. Dude, no way, dude. I'm so down. That sounds like so much fun. Faith, thank you for the $5. Am I going on live with Parker tonight? Please say yes. Possibly. I probably will end up doing that. Kay with the $5. Would you consider making the banner? I voted for Kamala Harris. Why didn't you? Oh, you ate with that shit, Kay. Oh my God, you ate with that shit. Everybody, show some love to Kay for the next topic that I will be running. That is a good one. That is a really good one. Kaylin, thank you for the $1 asking if I like Delilah Bond. I don't know who that is. Oh man, dude, Kay ate with that shit. I voted for Kamala Harris. Why didn't you? Oh, damn, that's good. That's really good. That's really, really, really good. Awesome, dude. W's for Kay. Oh man, what time is it? It's 4:30. I'm usually never off this early. I'm excited. Chloe, thank you for the $4 on Venmo. What celeb was in my DMs? Did I talk about a celeb in my DMs? Because I've had a few. I won't lie. But like no weird shit. I don't think. I can't say that. That's no weird shit. Don't worry. All right, anyways. Oh, man. Jess, thank you for the $5 and the 60 cents on Venmos. Dean, I just went further into debt sending you this money again because no one in your Discord server clipped it. Can I get 2 shout-outs? One for the time I did it before, and you did that. Dude, okay. All right, Jess, stop going into debt. Come on, Jess. Stop going into debt. Okay, we really need to prevent this. From happening. I just opened my Discord and the first thing I see is of a drippy glazed donut with the text, "Is someone gonna match my freak?" Okay, can we nuke the Discord? Is that okay with everybody? Is that okay if we just nuke the fucking Discord? Can we just like terminate it? Can we get rid of the whole thing? Oh my God, Riley. Who the fuck is Riley? And why aren't they banned? Who is Riley and why aren't they banned? That is crazy. Is that the same Riley? No, okay, that was Jess. Okay. Anyways, back to the questions. All right, yo, Kylie. Thank you so much for the $20 donation on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Kylie says, thank you for educating us. King, we love you and Parker. I love clocking people now that I've learned so much from you. W's for Kylie in the chat. That's right. Clock those assholes. W. Ty, thank you for the $5. Donna with the $5. Kathleen with the $1 and Caitlin with the $1. Ty says, Dean, can you please promote my protest in my newest video? I'm in Texas and I'm the organizer. I will check it out, and if I agree with the cause, I will promote it. Donna, thank you for the $5. I'm 72 and appreciate the intelligent younger generation. Donna, we all love you here. I love it when there's people in the older generation watching these lives, engaging with the content. It puts the world's biggest smile on my face. You are fucking great. Holy shit. Oh my God, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Donna. Let's see. Sydney, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Someone in the chat actually asks a good question. Am I bringing back the suit? I really want to. I just need to get a new suit. We might start a new suit fund so we could do that. We're actually already halfway there. So I went out and I bought myself a really nice dress shirt, some nice dress shoes, some nice dress slacks. And all that I need for the suit, I guess, is like a nice blazer to match and then like a nice tie. We might start a blazer and tie fund. How about that? Sydney, thank you for the $5. Wondering if I could send you the info about Jackson. You could honestly send it to me over Discord DMs or Instagram DMs or Twitter DMs. Those are the 3 DMs that I check. I'd say I check Instagram and Twitter the most. I'd say the Instagram DMs are the most flooded, so Twitter DMs is probably the best spot. Let's see. Can I say hi? Hello, Dean Withers Edits. I'm pretty sure I was on your live the other day. All right. Make an Instagram sub? What is that? I see a lot of people talking about that, and I feel like I should. It's like an announcement channel on Instagram, right? When is a podcast coming? Me and Parker would like to get that done in the next month or two. Let's see. What do we got in the chat? It's like a paid channel. That'd be a decent idea. I feel like I should. How do I do that? Can I do it from my computer right now? What is an Instagram paid channel? I have fucking no clue what that is, not gonna lie. I'll try to set it up. That'd be pretty cool, right? Let's see. Yeah, what's my Instagram? My Instagram is just Dean Withers. Like you'll find it if you look it up. You will definitely find it if you look it up. Kathleen, thank you for the $3. Do a Florida Gator Chomp. What the fuck is that, Kathleen? What is like? So it's like a paid community, or is it like you pay and you see like quote unquote premium content? Am I a socialist? No, I'm not a socialist. Oscar, thank you for the $11 and the 11 cents on Venmo. Is Alpha Dean ever gonna make a comeback? Bro, that was such a fun arc. You know what I mean? That was such a fucking fun arc. Holy shit, W, dude, that was such a fun arc. I actually think after I end the live, I'm gonna go figure that stuff out on Instagram, because I'd honestly like to have a place just to post my day-by-day thoughts that I think are interesting, but like not interesting enough to like warrant a whole video on them. You know what I mean? Emma, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. And like they're just thoughts that are a little bit too long for a tweet and just not sufficient to warrant their own video. Because I have a lot of those. I have a lot of those thoughts. I'll do that on Instagram. I really like that idea. In fact, I'm going to do that on Instagram literally right now. Kay, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. A podcast on Patreon would be great revenue-wise. I feel like I've never prioritized the income that much. Of course, like it's a consideration because I'm a content creator and this is my career. But honestly, I think that you could attribute a lot of like the success of really popular content creators to prioritizing their impact, not their income. And I mean, that's always something that I've like tried to follow. Sydney, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Like, for instance, Cassie, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Like, for instance, like my most popular video on my main TikTok account is me talking about Trump winning. It's currently at 20 million views. And if you'll notice, it's only 41 seconds long. I could have added another 19 seconds onto that video and like probably made like $2,000. But I decided not to, because if you are always more focused on impact over income, A, it's just better for greater reach of your message. And then B, it will typically give your message a greater reach because you're solely focused on what you want people to hear, not focused on what people need to hear in order to make money. So, yeah. Kathleen, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. Still about the Florida Gator Chomp. No clue what that is. A lot of people asking me about my favorite Smiths song. I have a lot. Let's find my favorite. Let's do that. We are going to find our favorite Smiths song. So everybody do just give us a minute. Lovey, thank you for the $1. I read your message. That's crazy. I hope my mods ban them. Let's see. So, I mean, this is a good one, obviously, but it's their most popular song. Here, I gotta find my favorite album here. You know, I'd probably say it's gotta be I Know It's Over. I'd say it's either between this, I Know It's Over, or what is the other one? It's like There's a Light That Never Goes Out. Nah, not that shit. I Know It's Over, that's a good one. And I think there's like one other one that I really enjoyed. This is it. The Night Has Opened My Eyes. I think this is my favorite Smith song. Caden, thank you so much for the $10 donation on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. This is probably my favorite Smith song for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and end the stream for the day. I'll probably be posting something on TikTok later. I'm going to spend the rest of my day doing that. Sydney, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. Can I say edited by Gwen for a girl in the comment section? Edited by Gwen motherfucker. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hop off, but as soon as I get off here, I'm actually going to be going over to Instagram and setting up like one of those like channels where I can just talk shit as much as I want. Yeah, if you're interested in that, head over to the IG here in about 10 minutes. I love you guys. I'll see you all later.